I have Twitch open here, and I was like, okay, these are like monster deers. Like, they are 3 times as big as they normally are. And then
Oh.
I realized, well, I'm ACCM's stream and not Onlu's stream.
Oh, yeah. But hopefully you can get back into it soon.
I will. I am actually looking at your POV right now, so
Yeah.
I can see what you do and like what there will be 3 minutes ahead, so I can just fast forward and see what's up.
Okay, so here we are, big Nomad Cup semifinals. Have had all this other stuff happening in the community, but as it happens, we're actually starting to wrap up this tournament, and yeah, we're in full best of 7 mode. Winner moves on to the grand finals. First place in this tournament now gets $500, so we're getting up there in terms of prize pool. But first, both these teams are going to have to, well, get to the finals. There's a little bit of a lake here in this Nomad map that is going to be perfectly fine to dock. But other than that, looks pretty normal. And as people get their TCs down, we'll be able to introduce everybody.
I'm just hoping to find a game, because right now I'm the one not finding it, but...
Oh, feels bad.
Let's see.
Sometimes it just like you just have to search a different person.
Yeah, I did with 2, but I'm just going to be lazy and check out on AOE2.net.
Yeah, that works as well. So just a little bit of background info on these teams. We will have good old NakedMen321. Just kidding, it's really mostly AM. Hera will be the blue, Totters here to the southeastish of the map. Hart will be right next to him in the gray as the Chinese. Leary will be in the... Was there a TC war?
There was. The reason why I'm not finding or at least there was something, or there is going to be something soon that you're going to notice, because apparently the lobby I'm not finding is because the lobby is gone. It just vanished.
Oh.
Okay. I don't see any units killed on your overlay.
No, most people haven't even finished their town centers yet. I'm just trying to find if there was a TC war. Or it could just be a restart. Teams are allowed to call restarts. Well, a restart, rather. You just have to play detective.
Yeah, there's a chance. Can we check on the Vietnamese team's locations? Because if there's a restart, they might just not like their civs.
They have Koreans, Byzantines, Huns, Turks. Honestly, that's not bad. Koreans and Byzantines are fantastic. Huns are, they're all right. They're Huns. And Turks are fine as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not awful. Maybe map locations is something I can imagine. So maybe we can browse through their TC spots while they're resetting the lobby.
Oh, let's see. Say My Name's TC isn't around a ton of food, but it's not like disaster.
According to ACCM's chat, it is Say My Name's TC. That is a little bit problematic, so Vietnam is going to take their restart.
Yeah, and it's not really around a ton of food. Well, I guess there's some deer and boar to the south, but he probably hasn't scouted that. We can't see that because thanks DE. And how are those civs not awful? Because Koreans are great on Nomad. You get the good, consistent TC placements, and then you have the cheaper wood cost units. Turtle ships are great. War wagons are great. Byzantines, just great on any hybrid map. Huns, not the greatest Nomad civ by any stretch, but, I mean, they're still Huns. You still have the good wood bonus. You still have a good knight civ that you really want to have access to. And Turks are pretty much fine on any type of mode. Whereas Chinese are pretty bad. Tatars are alright. Burmese are fine. And Goths are pretty bad, so... If anything, I prefer the Vietnamese civs.
Honestly, you also get turtle ship with Koreans, of course. But, yeah, I mean, Turks in team games are actually pretty viable. Especially in Nomad, where if you're lucky with your TC spot, you might be right next to a bunch of gold, and you can trade later on. And, well, in team games, if your trade dies, you die as well anyways with any civilization. So, basically, Turk trash isn't really an issue in team games. There is actually a lobby up, so we're just waiting for the spec delay, if you can find that.
Oh, wait, so we're actually starting the game? Perfect. How are Chinese bad? Because they can't build a dock right away. So Chinese used to be the best Nomad Civ, because you could get your TC up so much faster, and those extra villagers really would help you out. But now you don't get those extra villagers until your TC is completed, so it is actually a fair bit worse. Like, they're a lot worse.
Alright. So I guess it's your turn to welcome everybody here.
Alright, take two, everybody. Welcome back to OBNC. It's been a little bit, it feels. Feels like a little while since I was streaming. But yeah, we are here again. This is good old NakedMen321 versus Oh My Goss, which is our you can call them AM versus VNA.
Yeah, more or less. And we have a pause. Now, how long can you call your restart? Is it standard 4 minutes?
I think I made it a little bit longer because Nomad. Like, everything's kind of like pushed back a little bit.
Now, not sure about the pause.
5 minutes? Yeah. And we're unpaused. Alright. So, I think everyone should be getting their TCs down at this point. So, let me just introduce everybody real quick. We have Slacktarn as the Grey Cumans here to the northeast here for NakedMen321. It's always fun to find people on Nomad maps. Let's just do things the lazy way. So, Hart will be here in the Cyan, in the center of the map as the Teutons. Very close to Rolls-Royce, but not within TC range. Hera will be here a little ways further east as the blue Vietnamese. And finally, Leary will be in the green. Here he is. To the north center of the map as the Mongols.
Alright, other side. We have Bad Boy on the right side in red Britons, and honestly, he is going to be a dead Briton very soon, squeezed in between Leary and Hera. That doesn't really look very well for him, and even Slugtarn is around, so Bad Boy is going to be the meat shoot for this game.
Bad Boy is a bad boy surrounded by naked men.
Yeah, exactly. That's a tough start. And then we have the Vietnamese party here on the far left. Say My Name with Hans in orange and ACCM and Saracens in yellow. Both of them sharing a wood line over here and a pretty decent spot overall. And then you also have Rolls-Royce, whose job is going to be to just slap Hart in the face. And what is going to be very interesting is that there is only two players on the outside water. One of them is Hart, the other one is Slugtarn. So it appears that all Vietnamese players might go for an inside dock on the pond, and this could give a lot of safe fishing for Hart and Slugtarn on the outside.
Well, we already drawn first blood in the series as Bad Boy, showing how bad he is, killing a villager of Slacktarn. Now, that is not the start you want to be getting. Slacktarn already 5 villagers, everyone else is on like 7 to 9. That isn't great. To say the least. Maybe Spontant, who's in the chat, maybe he needs to come back. Needs to replace his brother.
Yeah, potentially. But anyways, indeed, Hera and Leary already having a pretty decent villager lead. They are going to be the ones carrying AM, probably in this one.
What is AM? What is an AM? I only know NakedMen321.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they will change their names and they'll be representing Naked Men.
Oh yeah.
In the next team game tournament.
I think that makes sense. I mean, I hope if they sign up for Empire Wars Duo, they sign up with at least one of the duos is NakedMen321.
No, they actually signed up as Aftermath D.
Aww.
Not sure what D stands for, but I actually prefer Team Secret team names. Because what happened is that Viper was signing up Doubt and Slam because Doubt and Slam were interested in playing, but they, just forgot about the deadline, I assume. And Viper messaged them, Doubt, Slam, and Nilly, on what team name they want, and no one actually answered Viper. So Viper just said, okay, that's an easy team name. It's going to be No One Answered. So right now, Doubt, Slam, and Nilly are team no one answered.
And Viper plays with Tato.
Yeah, and Jordan.
Oh yeah. That's really sick. I'm glad you're getting those guys to sign up. Slacktarn's really not having a great time, guys. He's at 11 villagers. I mean, Hera and Leary they're both chilling, they're loving life, but yeah, that's pretty unfortunate here for our great Coomer player.
Honestly, would you say that it's safe to assume that this would be just time for Mamadou to step into the game?
Probably. I mean, would Mamadou lose a villager like that? I don't think so. I think Mamadou would probably crush everyone. Especially Miguel. Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, taking a quick look at the civs, as we already have Leary clicking up to feudal age with Mongols. Teutons, Vietnamese, Mongols, and humans. That's a pretty interesting mix of civs. You have some decent water potential with Mongols, and then Vietnamese are alright on water, with the not needing wood for upgrades. But yeah, just a nice mix of civilizations for Naked Men. I like.
Yeah. They don't really have a lot of traditional archer civs. Like, Vietnamese is the only one. Other than that, Cumans is probably more like a cavalry civ, and Leary is Mongols. In the long run, it's going to be a great Mango Dai civ, of course, and he's going to be by far the fastest player going into feudal, thanks to the Mongol hunt. And on the other side, Saracens, Huns, Britons, Indians, neither of these civs are amazing on Nomad, but all of them are kind of good, and I think that ACCM just killed the boar with a TC.
Oh, ACCM. #1 Vietnamese player right here.
Don't tell my parents.
Feels bad, man.
I only caught the last second, but I just saw a boar dying right next to the TC, and then ACCM quickly switching into a sheep, so I assume that that boar is now gone.
It is. It's gone just like my hopes and dreams. Anyway, we have Hart just now clicking up to feudal age, but Rolls-Royce is already on his way there, so he's going to be up a little bit faster, and that's going to be really important, because you do not want to be behind in a tower battle against Teutons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that sounds...
On a side note, we'll have an even feudal age time in between Bad Boy and Horde. And do you feel like Bad Boy should just, try to hold in the middle, kind of not die, and try to destroy as much as he can from Hart's fishing eco, because he's very close to that, and I guess he's going to get smashed by Hera and Leary very soon on land. So if you are Bad Boy, what do you do? Do you
okay, he's already mining stone, so he knows what's up, and you might think that the Vietnamese guys are going to be super outgunned in this matchup. No. These guys, they were first place in their group. They know what they're doing on Nomad. I think Bad Boy knows that, especially as Britons, you can cause a lot of chaos. You're not going to be thriving, but you can do a really good job of not dying, and you can, tower rush, you can get nice snipes with archers and whatnot. He's already going to have a nice opportunity here on the water. Leary coming in, though, as well, going to be denying the second dock of Bad Boy.
Yeah, that's going to be a galley opening, but this also means that Leary is going for the water aggression over here in this one. And fire galleys are coming out for Leary in the middle as well, so Leary is going to play both on the outside and the inside, which could cause a lot of trouble for Vietnam, because some of their fishing eco is on the outside, some of them is on the inside.
Yeah, Leary's galley numbers are going to be getting pretty great pretty quickly, although there really isn't that much to attack on the water. The only other person on... actually, that's Slacktarn, and he has a fish trap. Oh, no, I guess that's just auto-reseed on the fish traps. I didn't realize it showed up like that. But everyone else is getting fuel age. Hera will actually be the last one up, but I assume he will just be going for fast castle rattan archers, but he's currently getting trushed.
Yeah, and a lot of people would just say, oh, it's AM, Leary, Hera, and Hart. Even with Slacktarn, they're just so good that they will just beat Vietnam, but it's not true. Vietnam is actually one of the best teams in terms of nomad skills, and those are slightly different from standard random map games. Look at that trap from Rolls-Royce.
Oh,
that
man.
was a masterpiece.
I missed
with
it.
the tower. Oh, just go to Hearts DC and you will still see the wood line. that's being crushed.
Oh no!
Hart actually sent in 2 villagers to batter that tower down, and Rolls-Royce trapped them and killed them. That was absolutely amazing.
Now
Hart is still at 28 villagers, though, thanks to the fish.
yeah, now he has to beat a quick retreat. Rolls-Royce is ahead in that regard, though. Hart has a tower up here to the south-ish. I'm not too sure what that accomplishes. Does Rolls-Royce have access to stone? Well, for the time being, there are some villagers here from Hart, so this is already getting nice and messy.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, Hart is unable to defend his own fishing eco, so Bad Boy can push that, and guess what? Right now, Hart is running for his life with his fishing eco, because he doesn't have any gold income, and his wood income is kind of meh as well, so...
Well, this seems to be the good old Nomad principle. Everybody tower rush the player to your left. It's common courtesy, because Slacktarn is tower rushing Bad Boy. Bad Boy is tower rushing Hera. And then you have Hart tower rushing Rolls-Royce. It's perfect.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, you do have 2 fast castling players here for Vietnam, and if Say My Name can keep his fire galley numbers up here, and get like 4 or 5 fire ships, then he can easily push back Lyria on the water, and that would basically mean that Hart loses his fishing eco. And in the meanwhile, in the middle pond, Vietnam is winning the fight. Hera's fishing eco is gone.
Yep, Say My Name ACCM has plenty of fire galleys here. They will soon be fire ships once he hits Castle Age. But Say My Name is already there, as you're saying, and this is going to be a little bit of a problem here, I think, for the good old Naked Men. Yeah, Bad Boy is getting targeted right here, and yeah, now Lyria's going to be struggling in the west with the famous Hunnic Navy going to be getting some fire ships in just a second to push him back.
Yeah, and as I said, the middle pond is in Vietnamese hands right now. ACCM did a masterful job with that, and he's already going up to Castle Age. I'm pretty sure there was some Saracen market play in that, and I really like that Rolls is adding some scouts here, because right now Hart is losing eco quite massively as well, and if you just take a look at the villager counts, it kind of stands out that Hera is the only player below 30 villagers, but guess what? He's just gonna say, hello there.
Indeed. And... uh-oh, poor Bad Boy. He's getting a castle dropped in his face, and he might need to go, well, full Nomad at this point, because he's gonna have some Rattan archers in his face soon. And yeah, Britons in general don't deal well with Rattan archers, and being in feudal age doesn't exactly help that issue.
Yeah, like, Bad Boy has a lot of stone, he's just unable to go up to Castle Age to castle drop the next guy. Can we just really appreciate the fact that ACCM has a villager on the far right, so he walks through the entire map, I have no idea how.
Maybe that was his fishing villager? Or like the villager that docked? But no, that's not it. No, he just walked across the map with a villager. And
yeah, he's dropping docks here, and I mean, yeah, sure, Bad Boy is dying. We expected that at the beginning. But in the meanwhile, Hart's fishing eco is gone. I mean, Hera's fishing eco isn't amazing. And in the meanwhile, Hart isn't really doing great on land either.
Hart is getting his villagers attacked by these scouts from Rolls-Royce. The scouts will go down, but not after more and more villagers end up dying here for poor Hart. Not exactly having a great time so far.
Yeah, and as I said, we haven't even seen a lot of army from ACCM, so far he's just chilling and booming in the pocket. Kind of the same thing for Say My Name as well. He has an untouched fish boom behind this one, and he can just push the water very, very fast.
Yeah, so, it's got a nice dock too. Plenty of open water and fish for him to...
Oh, look at that mass migration on the south, though, from Bad Boy. He's just trying to reach his friends.
Oh, the one Rattan archer.
He's like, oh yeah, this is going to be a border checkpoint here, so grab your papers, everybody.
Oh no. That's pretty yikes, man. But yeah, I don't know if he deleted his TC or if it was destroyed. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. Meanwhile, Slacktarn is going to be up on the way to Castle Age, will be able to drop a castle, as it seems like he's going to be doing, maybe? Nope, actually adding in the second town center. So he's going to be focusing more on the eco approach. Meanwhile, Leary halfway up to Castle Age himself, but he is currently having to sail back. But the thing with Nomad is that there's plenty of space for, that you can work with. So it's not like Leary's actually losing any galleys at this point.
Yeah, but they are losing ground quite massively, and in fact, they could be sandwiched in between ACCM and Say My Name here, and I mean, if you just look at Heart's eco,
What?
it's absolutely
what
non-existent
eco?
now.
Eco, I hardly
And-
knew her.
In fact, he could also lose his TC here. There's already war galleys shooting at it.
Oh man.
And do you think that this would be the time for Vietnam, as we see the big sandwich over here from ACCM and Say My Name or Please, that's the plan, to kill Leary's navy? Do you think that this will be the time from Vietnam to start switching a bit more towards the land army?
I do think
Because-
they need to.
The thing is that Leary has a bunch of galleys here, but what does this achieve for him right now? Like, Say My Name can still protect his fishing eco pretty nicely, and AM has no more fish, so this will be the moment when you start switching to land army and start raiding Leary's eco, for example, with a few knights.
Yep, because Leary, he is getting a mining camp, and he will slowly but steadily be working towards the Mangudai. ACCM is going to be booming like a madman, already going to be going up to 4 town centers. Say My Name, meanwhile, already on 3 plus his fish boom. So that's going to be pretty sick in terms of getting their land ecos up and running. Meanwhile, Hera also up on the 3 town centers, so despite going for the aggressive castle, he is going to be getting his eco up just fine behind this as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm somewhat surprised that Leary is only playing with 1 PC, but I guess he's just putting everything into fighting that 2v1 on the war, because right now he's basically fighting a 2v1.
Well, yeah, he committed to the water very heavily, and he was relying on being able to win 2v1, and it's not like he won't be able to do that, but it's just a matter of to what end. I mean, you're protecting the 3 fishing ships of Bad Boy. Yeah. Meanwhile, we did see Hart relocate just a little bit further from the shoreline in the middle.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like at this point for AM, the only purpose of Leary having ships is that they can potentially stop Say My Name from booming away, because right now, Say My Name is supposed to have a crazy villager count. Right?
He's got 11 fishing ships, it seems. And
That's a solid 80 eco. That's by
Oh.
far the best in the game.
wow, didn't even realize it was that high. It was lurking down there at the bottom of the overlay. 81 eco already. 9 kills, 2 deaths. I mean, you know, Say My Name is like, his macro is actually insane. Like, he is a boomer. And with Huns, we could be seeing a lot of knights here in the future.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, let's not forget that ACCM is only also at 68. And he's just casually booming with 3 TCs. He also has the middle pond, so he can just send out a few war galleys to harass the wood lines, like he's doing at Hera's base right now, for example.
Yeah, the 2 best ecos in the game are Say My Name and ACCM. So, like, they sort of have that double threat from, oh my Goss, over from the west. Meanwhile, Hera's doing fine on the eco, but Slacktarn is going to be struggling to catch up a little bit. Leary's eco is certainly nothing to write home about. He's probably just going to go right into Mangudai or something like that, but that's going to take a long time to get up and running.
And yeah, in the meanwhile, Hart is just dead. Vietnam has a way better overall eco, and honestly, Bad Boy is not far away from Castle Age if you look at his resources, which basically means that in this position, I would say it might be worth for him to just buy himself up to Castle.
Oh yeah, he can
And then
pretty much do that.
Drop the PCs with Britons, because that helps quite a lot at rebooming.
That would totally help. You can also drop a castle for defense if need be, if, say, you're getting raided by Hera.
Or you can just drop a castle in Hart's face and make his life even harder.
Well, that would be fun. Dang, 2 years with Millen. I've been streaming
Alright,
a
so
long
close.
time.
Indeed, welcome back.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for the subs throughout the game so far. Oh yeah, Hart is, you know, he's got his nice little Teutonic village over here. This is not his first town center. Here we see the sad remains of what was once a town center. Not too sure what the pause is. I think Hera paused, right?
Yeah, Hera was the one pausing, and we should actually be able to get going very, very soon, I hope.
Maybe he had to check the Vietnamese tech tree.
Yeah, possibly.
Do Vietnamese get treadmill crane? That's what he's wondering.
Okay, so we're good.
Okay, here we go.
So at this point, Vietnam has 2 pocket players with full boom, and that's very scary. In fact, if you take a look at ACCM's resources, that's quite a lot of stone. Makes me wonder where he wants to drop that castle, honestly. As Bad Boy's up to castle... No, it's Rolls-Royce up to castle, and we're going to see some Indian camels, which melt building so fast that... Again, this is going to be a bit troublesome to defend against.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would be good to start pressuring Leary just to make sure that you can sort of keep him down, and then from there you can also harass Slacktar and prevent them from ever getting their ecos up and rolling. Because I think it's going to be pretty tricky to actually break all the way to Hera, because you actually do need to get through Heart first, and that will take some time. So I think I'd rather go for the more unprotected, completely defenseless Leary.
But in the meanwhile, we have Bad Boy, who is relentlessly trying to harass Hera. Now reinforcements coming in from Rolls-Royce in the form of camels, and those Indian camels were pretty cool against the Red Archers. So I really like that Bad Boy. You know, he's just being annoying over here, but also very close to clicking up to Castle Age. So he has an okay eco, and he will soon be able to really be a factor here. And meanwhile, Rolls-Royce is going to apply the Castle Age pressure with apparently a 1 TC build of just a single stable camel production.
That's all he's got right now, but he will be able to take down these towers. Of course, you don't get free murder holes with Teutons until Castle Age, and Heart isn't exactly there just yet. Nobody clicking up to Imp just yet, and okay, the castle's a lot more defensively positioned here for ACCM. Could be going for the Mamelukes. I would think he would go for Archers to complement the Hun Knights, but, I mean, Mamelukes are awesome. So, I mean, I'm never gonna say, no, don't go for Mamelukes.
Now, Slaktar is going to lose a few fishing ships on the south because finally there's a fire ship coming in here from Say My Name to clean that one up. And as you said, there's going to be knights coming in here from Say My Name. Not a lot of upgrades, but Lyra's eco is so open that you can just hit farmers on the north, lumberjacks on the left, gold miners. And since Lyra doesn't have an amazing eco, even just a few villagers lost could actually be a disaster.
Yeah, I'm still surprised Leary is not adding in any extra eco whatsoever. Really, it's just kind of Hera right now who... actually, no, Slacktarn has a good eco as well. He has been catching up in that regard. He's on, I think, 4 town centers make that. So he's getting his Cuban boom on himself, but they're going to need to buy some time because there's going to be, I think, 2 forward castles coming in here? Oh no, that's just gold.
Yeah, that's going to be the first castle from ACCM. Castle Age coming in here for Bad Boy, which is going to make his life much easier when he wants to reboom. And that's the difference between him and Heart. Heart is going to have a much harder time rebooming because he doesn't really have any fish to help out here. And yeah, from Feudal Age, rebooming is just much harder. Hera is going to start adding barracks, so we might see some more army from him. And it appears that Leary might actually be able to push Say My Name on the water.
He might be able to do that, but I'm not too sure how much it matters, because we have Imperial Age coming in right now for both ACCM and Say My Name, and that is just going to be really hard to deal with. We also have Imp now coming in for Hera, but I'm not too sure how much Hera himself can do.
Yeah, honestly, as you said, Leary's fleet here might not be that big of a deal for Say My Name. Now, even if he loses 10 fishing ships, he can just add villagers, so it's not that big of a deal. And in the meanwhile, Leary's eco is very weak behind this one, and he's going to get pushed on the land, so replacing those war galleys is going to be insanely painful for Leary.
Yeah, definitely. And indeed, Mamelukes now on the way here for ACCM, and if Slacktarn thought he was going to start contributing something with military, Mamelukes pretty much kill everything that humans do, and already he's having to deal with knights all up in his grill, and this is just going to be looking really painful for the Naked Men.
Especially with Hard getting a castle in his face. Rolls-Royce is just going to say, "Oh yeah, I remember what you did to my friend here. Poor Bad Boy had to suffer a castle drop from Hera, so I'm just going to castle drop your friend."
Now all he needs to do is go for Elephant Archers. then everything is complete. Right now, Hera coming in with some Rattan Archers. They do have some pretty decent upgrades. Actually, the Camels also have really good upgrades for Rolls-Royce. Kind of surprising considering his eco's fairly low. But, yeah, they'll be doing, honestly, fairly decently.
Honestly, Royce is at 74 villagers. Bad Boy is still at 33, but at least he can start more or less rebooming. In fact, Bad Boy almost has enough stone for a castle, so if Rolls-Royce is able to just push in a tiny bit against Hero, I could imagine Bad Boy, just castle dropping, like saying, hey, I'm contributing,
Oh, Leary's now dropping a castle in the front of his base, but, like, just as that happens, his opponents get to Imperial Age. Triple castle Mameluke production on the way for ACCM at 132 villagers. Same name at 146. Going for the good Hun Knight play. Oh, man, this is just a massacre from Say My Name in ACCM.
Yeah, exactly, and in the end, Say My Name loses his fishing eco, but that doesn't really matter at this point. What matters is that right now, Hart just rebuilt his town center, but Rolls-Royce also has a crazy good eco. I mean, Leary at 42, Hart at 30 in terms of eco. Slugter and Hera are the only two players who actually have a good eco right now.
Yeah, and again, I'm not too sure what Slackturn can do. He's 45% of the way to Imperial Age. Or no, sorry, he's 75% of the way in, and he's going to be going for his own Knights, but they're going to be running into Mamelukes. And also the Knights of Say My Name, which are just have better upgrades. And Larry's not going to be doing anything with Mangudai because his one castle's getting trebbed down.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Paladin is coming in here for Say My Name. Now, there's some Knights from Slugtarn, but that's not going to be enough by far. He's going into Imperial, but I think it's going to be too late.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like credit to Rolls-Royce for being able to keep Hera at bay with the help of Bad Boy. Like, those two pretty much were on their own in terms of dealing with Hera and with Hart. And really, I mean, yeah, Hera is going to eventually win this, but they bought so much time for their teammates.
And yeah, now it's Slugtarn dropping in villager count quite massively, just getting raided to death here by Cavaliers. Honestly, I would say that it's either Say My Name who did a masterful job in this game. Like, if I need to name an MVP, I would probably say My Name because he was able to fight on water and meanwhile have a crazy good boom behind that one. Or maybe Rolls-Royce, who basically single-handedly destroyed Hart in this one. And yeah, just Hart fell behind, and then Rolls-Royce was able to start pressuring Hera. So applied a lot of pressure, and overall, the fact that Vietnamese could secure both the outside and the inside for fishing at the beginning was just a massive thing.
Yeah, I think it was definitely both Say My Name and Rolls-Royce in different respects. This is looking pretty darn close to GG. Paladins versus Knights. Okay, now they're Cavaliers, but now we have Elite Mamelukes coming in as well. Get out of my game castle coming in from ACCM. And, I don't know, it's something about this tournament and then Yellow Saracen players dropping a bajillion castles. I don't know what it is.
And meanwhile, Leary trying to reboom, but the Paladins will just find it immediately. And poor Leary might go down to something like 10 villagers here.
Yeah, he's not loving life, but he is going to be running away, or sorry, Sam is going to be running away just a little bit when he sees the Cavaliers of Slacktarn, but of course ACCM is right here with his Mamelukes, and indeed that will be the GG. I think once they see all of the Mamelukes come in, they know that they have absolutely no counter to that, and indeed that will be it. GG.
Whoa. I'm somewhat surprised. Like, I knew that the Vietnamese players are actually very, very skilled in Nomad, but this actually surprised me, to be honest.
I would say I'm not too surprised. I'm impressed, but I wouldn't go to the point of being surprised just because, well, I mean, you haven't been watching as many games as I have for this tournament, obviously. And the Vietnamese guys are solid, man. Definitely, I don't think you can underestimate them, especially the up-and-coming Vietnamese players, you know, Bad Boy and Rolls-Royce. They are very highly ranked in the team game ladder. They're like top 10, and at this point, I do actually think that means a fair amount in terms of how good you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, 131 kills to 55 deaths for Say My Name. also had the best eco. That's just insane. Dude's macro is absolutely on point. And that will be game number 1 in this best of 7 in the books. In favor of Oh My Goss. And of course, it will now be the map selection choice for Naked Men. I imagine they'll be going with a land map.
Yeah, I would say as well. It just fits their style a tiny bit better. And yeah, what do you think about what could be good home maps for each team?
I think the Nomad itself map definitely favored the Vietnamese team, but I think that if you go to something like a land Nomad, I think it's actually going to be a lot better for Naked Men because that's just more the standard land map. The AM players can really show their class when it comes to booming, or Bedouins, of course, for the showing how good they are in terms of aggression. I think those are the only 2 land maps in this tournament, or land-only maps, rather. Definitely think that those would be the best options.
And for the same reason, you think that Vietnamese players should try to get some more water-heavy home maps for themselves?
Yeah, I think something good for them could be like a Decentring. Yeah, they'd be decent. Naked Men would definitely be decent on cross as well. But it will be Bedounis.
Oh yes, Bedounis. Now, let's see if either of the teams is going to get Indians here, because that's just the most OPC that basically you can get on this map.
On any map, honestly. In this tournament, the single best high roll you can get is Indians on this map, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe not so much on land-heavy maps, but overall Indians are very strong in team games, and if you have a hybrid map where you can just do a bit of a shore fishing, that's already a massive advantage.
Yeah, if Indians didn't have their shorefish bonus nerfed, I probably would feel a bit more uncomfortable with putting Bedouins in the map pool. But honestly, every time we've seen Indians on this map, it hasn't been, like, completely overbearing or anything like that. It's just like, it's just good. It's like a bonus, but obviously you have 3 other civs you have to contend with.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, the next question is something I completely forgot, so that's not something I'm going to ask you.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. But yeah, I have it now. So, Vietnam has already used 1 restart. I'm not sure if they have 1 or 2 restarts, but let's say that if on Bedouins your opponent gets Indians, do you call your restart regardless of the civs you have?
Depends. I think it depends. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I think it's definitely more about what you have in terms of starting civs and positions and all that. I think you can work with enemy Indians.
Yeah, makes sense, especially if you are the more aggressive team, I would say. So if you can inflict massive damage onto the Indian player in Feudal, so you can actually delay those very strong camos to pop out, then you can potentially get away with fighting against Indians on Bedouins as well.
Yeah, definitely. Also, do you see the lobby anywhere?
They are going to rehost the lobby for whatever reason, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe just the things with the lobby and map selection.
That's all. Oh yeah, I forgot that's always the thing. There's the bug, guys, in case you didn't know, where there's oh, I see a lobby now, they're all in it. There's a bug that, like, if you select, like, a different map or something, then people aren't able to ready up for no easily identifiable reason.
But it appears it's going to work now, so we might have to jump into game number 2 on Bedounis, as you said.
Did they launch?
Nope, but they will launch very soon, I hope.
One can dream. Oh, nope. Just kidding. They're gonna go to Cross.
Oh no, that's just
Oh no, that's Fair Civs Cup
it's an
Cross.
FCC cross.
That's not OBNC Cross.
They're probably just having issue with the maps being visible to other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Good old FCC cross back in the days.
That feels like such a long time ago we had that.
Yep. And you still have the map packs. That's one of the things that you actually acquire as a caster. Over time, you pile up an insane amount of recorded games and maps. Like, sometimes you clear your recorded games folder, and then you get rid of those, but I don't think you uninstall map mods, because, like,
Oh, I
how
do.
often did we have... you do?
Oh, yeah.
I never do that, because I'm like, okay, if I uninstall it, the next day there's going to be an event that will use that map pack. So we have seen something like that. Oh yeah, there's going to be a show match using FCC map pack. So you will still need FCC, and
Yeah.
in the end, I never uninstalled any of my map packs. I still have very, very old stuff.
I just try and keep my mods as low as possible. Just because, you know, trying to get the game to run.
Well, yeah, that's something we all dream of.
I don't see the lobby.
It is because they are apparently rehosting it.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Gotta
getting
love-
DE to run smoothly is full-time job.
Yeah, that's basically the way you would put it.
Well, most of the tournament was recorded games, but
It's always tricky to balance because, like, there is something special about live games, though. So, yep, in terms of managing recorded games, it's much easier, and there's like shorter breaks in between the games. But on the other hand, like, how often that we hear that people are like, "Hey, I don't really like recorded game tournaments because the intensity of the live games is gone."
yeah. I mean, there are pros and cons to each. I mean, just in terms of ease of organization, that's why I did most of the tournament with Rex, but I would prefer to do live if possible, especially since it gives players like Hera and ACCM, I know are both streaming this right now, it allows them to do that.
Hera is not streaming, I think.
But he specifically asked to stream.
And did he tell him that he can?
I very specifically messaged him personally.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I guess, I don't know. He might be just, probably scared that he might get banned for the voice chat that they have right now in between the boys.
Feels bad, man.
No idea, but yeah, ACCM is around. But honestly, I think that it's better for players if they don't stream. Not necessarily because of viewership numbers or anything, it's because they can focus on the game a tiny bit more. There is less backseating and stuff like that that draws away their attention.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Rune Game.
Yes, indeed. So, let's see the civilizations in this one. Bad Boy with Bulgarians, Portuguese for Rolls-Royce, Say My Name for Turks, and ACCM with Slavs against Mongol, Aztec, Magyar, Teuton. Why do I have a feeling that Naked Men have actually turned on these Civ hacks?
Well, it's not that crazy, I think. I mean, Teutons, Magyars, Mongols, Aztecs. I mean, it's not like any of those civs are especially amazing on this map. I mean, they're just good civs, right?
I somewhat disagree because, yeah, like not necessarily economically, but all of them have great scout opening, which helps quite a bit in such an open map. Especially like Magyars could be pretty fun over here. On the other hand, Slavs and Teutons can't really capitalize on their eco bonus, to be honest, especially early game. But then you have Aztecs for Slugtarn, which helps quite a bit. Generally have a great eco to work with. And other side, Rolls-Royce with Portuguese, that's actually a pretty good team bonus that he's going to have. So
Yep.
the fact that they can see each other on such an open map is a massive advantage.
Oh yeah. Also, we the viewers got the high roll with the civ because the bad boy is the person that we just defaulted to, so we get the Bulgarian theme.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's just perfect.
Anyways, looking at the players, it appears that the southwest part of the map is going to be in the hands of the Naked Man Heart in a blue. Then we have Leary in Teutons, Hera in Mongols, and very far away in the corner there's a mill from Slugtarn, and his DC is a bit more to the middle. So it's basically left versus right over here. The players are relatively far away from each other, but there is no isolated player from either team.
Nope, and we tend to get that on these maps. It's a bit more standard with Bedouins. You have Bad Boy with the Bulgarians to the southeast. Further north is ACCM is the Yellow Slavs, and then Rolls-Royce is the Purple Portuguese, and then Say My Name is the Orange Turks. They're just all kind of in an arc. I'll actually turn on team colors for a little bit in the Dark Age just so that the viewers at home can get a better idea of where everyone is in relation to each other, but I don't think it's anything all that crazy.
Why are you pointing out that the viewers at home? What if I'm a viewer from not home?
No. Just no. You're not.
But what if I want to watch my favorite Ornlu stream from an internet cafe, for example?
No.
No? Okay, chat, hands up. If anyone is from an internet cafe, I'm sorry, but we'll have to ban you from the chat.
Yep, sorry guys. Just kidding. Yeah, honestly, everyone seems to have a pretty even start. Everyone is on either 7 or 8 villagers.
Yeah, ACCM's TC was quite a bit delayed, not sure why. So he was by far the slowest to get that TC up, although, being honest, he actually found a great spot, and I wouldn't necessarily bash him for being the latest with the TC. Maybe he spawned on the left side of the map and he had to walk all the way through the map, you know? Just to make sure he can get a good TC spot close to his teammates.
That's totally a possibility. Really nice scouting, honestly, though. Just looking at the POV of the Vietnamese team, like, especially Bad Boy, this guy is some, he's some sheep scouting, mastery right here. That is some...
Meanwhile, for whatever reason, Slugtarn has a mill on the south, that's one thing, but he's sending his villagers all the way through the map so he can fish there instead of dropping a second mill on a pawn that's closer.
That's so weird. There are pawns everywhere on this map.
I don't even know why they do have a mill over here, because that mill was up there for quite a time. It was probably built by one villager that was just far away, but it would have been easier to make that villager go to the TC instead of having all your villagers go through the map, and now he's dropping a closer mill. But that was an awful lot of walking that those villagers had to make, and that's a precious amount of time lost.
Yeah, it's just strange. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be like the end of the world or anything. I think that as we get closer to players clicking up to Feudal Age, I'm interested to see who is going to go fast castle and who's going to go aggressive, because it's totally possible that, like, the pockets, quote unquote, could go fast castle, whereas the flanks would just go for either archers or scouts. We tend to see a mix from on Bedouins, and it's going to, I think, come down to, do you want to go with the better, like, civs to go for the aggression in fast castle, or vice versa, or better positions?
Yeah, meanwhile, we might interrupt our show for a moment, because this might be interesting for some people, but apparently checking out the Xbox Twitter, it is officially announced that AoE 3 Definitive Edition will have some stuff happening in Gamescom on Thursday.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna drop this link onto the chat. If you are interested in AoE 3 DE, like I am, this might be your. And now we can continue with the big nomading.
Yeah, definitely not unexpected, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it is.
So when is the Ornlu's big AoE 3 4v4 nomad tournament?
I don't even know how Nomad would work in AoE 3.
I don't even know if you can do. Actually, you can do nomads. But then you have like special settlers instead of the villagers you would have.
Oh, that's weird.
Crazy stuff like that.
Just pick French and then use your Courrier de Bois by, just shoot all the villagers with your OP villagers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Feels AoE 3, man. Anyway, people are clicking on up to Feudal Age. Not everybody though. We're starting to see some team walls come in as well. Team walls definitely pretty common on this map.
Yeah, I would say so as well. But that's not a huge amount of team walls. I mean, Rolls-Royce and Semifinal might be walling themselves off. There is some walling from ACCM, but there is none from Bad Boy so far. But by the time he finishes these walls, I think that enemy scouts could easily rush inside by then.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a, you know, we'll get the wall done eventually, don't you worry. Rather than like, okay, let's just make sure we're safe from feudal aggression. And
honestly,
stable coming in right away for ACCM.
You will need those walls, because apparently Rolls-Royce is planning to go for an FC over here. Goes 26 villagers and 2 on stone, which makes me believe that we're going to see organ guns over here pretty fast from him. 26 is pretty fast for an FC, but you do have the shore fishing, so you should be able to have enough food to do it that way.
Yeah. Interesting that they're going to be going for organ guns, but at least Viper would be proud.
Honestly,
it feels like they're... I don't know why it feels like they're worse in DE. Like, it feels like they were a lot better on Vubli.
A lot of things are better on Vubli, so...
Oh, feels DE, man. You know, Slackturn's actually going for Fast Castle himself, and he's, you know, he's the one out in front, so that's pretty interesting. Is anyone going for feudal aggression? NakedMen, it does... Or... Hera's going Scouts, of course he is. I think everyone else is going FC.
No, Hart is actually going for Scouts, but by the time he gets those Scouts out, Vietnam might indeed be fully walled, so... well, the only thing that's left exposed is the right side of Bad Boy's base, but it's going to be the Great Wall of Vietnam. And we do have some Scouts from ACCM popping out here, but it's not really going to be a factor, I believe. Double layer walls.
Even Stonewall's coming in from Bad Boy. In the south.
Yeah, he just wants to make sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate that everybody kept their colors exactly the same between game number 1 and 2, except Hera and Hart just switching colors for no reason. Classic.
I mean, well, I hear some Scouts fighting somewhere.
Scouts fighting villagers, it's not much of a fight and more of a slaughter. Your walls are only as strong as your weakest link, and Hera is letting the scouts on in. That's a problem.
Oh yeah, that's 2 villagers dead from Hera, and now the scouts from Hart might need to fall back, because Hart right now is unable to find a spot where he can hit his opponents. It appears that Vietnam might be fully walled here.
Oh, but the villager is... Okay, the villager's totally safe. But the thing is, there's so much space. Like, when you go for a team wall, it means that there's a ton of space available on the back, so if units actually breach the team wall, then it's going to be really hard to actually clean up those guys. And it can actually be kind of a problem. Because, like, right now, exactly. ACCM can just run around everywhere and just get random villager kills.
Or just die to a spearman.
That's also an option. Works.
Meanwhile, Slugtarn is up to castle, dropping a TC on the wood line on the outside. That's the only TC he's dropping. And yeah, ACCM, I think he already did enough damage. I mean, knocking down 30 Villagers or from Hera is actually a pretty nice achievement. So here's down to 24.
Oh yeah, I mean, the scout opening, like, it's just designed to sort of keep your opponents honest. Hera! Why are you not quick-walling in your villagers on the wood line? Oh, no. He's going to lose another one right there.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. And remember that Slugtarn's base is quite open as well. So there could be quite a lot of raiding coming in here from ACCM with his leftover scouts, and he still has some. In the meanwhile, for Rolls-Royce, he's actually going to have a pretty clean build over here towards the Organgans. I wonder where the castle is going to go up. But I would say somewhere, maybe at the front of ACCM's base, which is like a long wall segment. And yeah, it would be pretty nice to have a castle there protecting the lakes and the gold.
Yep, Hera getting his own castle up. Going to be going for the Mangudai. Obviously, that's going to be a unit that Hera really likes. Karapost is actually finished already for Bad Boy, so he's going to be going for some Conics.
And in the meanwhile, we're going to have Cav Archers for Say My Name, and he's already applying pressure. Heart is still in Feudal Age, but there's already Cav Archers that will start to pressure him over here. No Botkin just yet for Say My Name though, but it appears that Say My Name is doing a 2 TC play, actually 3 TCs now, and we're going to see quite a lot of Turkish Cav Archers, which are pretty bad at the beginning, but once you get Sipahis, they actually become very, very beastly.
I actually prefer Turk Cav Archers to Magyar Cav Archers until post-Imperial Age. Turks have the faster gold mining, which is really nice when it comes to making a gold-heavy unit like the Cav Archer. Also, Sipahi comes in way earlier than Recurve Bow, so that's also quite nice. But even so, this build is very greedy. Only 2 archery ranges for Cav Archer production, and then just trying to add in the additional TCs as quickly as possible. But still, I like that he's going for it, if for no other reason than because he already has a teammate who's going for organ guns, so Janissaries would be kind of overkill.
Yeah, probably. Now, what do you think about Bad Boy's second TC on the south, which is outside of the team walls, somewhat ambitious, I have to say.
What? No, it's not.
It is. I mean, it's outside of team walls.
Oh,
We have some words.
that's his third town center.
Oh.
Yeah, that's weird.
And there's going to be some Conics running around now. Slugtarn could be in trouble here. Because of that, as he's also playing with 3 town centers, some Mangudai popping out from Hera, and indeed, Rolls-Royce dropped the castle where I actually anticipated him to do so.
Yep, just looking fine. Some Mangudai coming in, they already have +2, and remember, Mangudai do get bonus damage versus organ guns. That said, you don't want to stand underneath castle fire, so Hera will be forced back for the time being. Also remember that 7 base range for organ guns means they do outrange Mangudai at this point.
And also, Mangudai need a lot of upgrades to be very efficient over here in this one. But they have the advantage of mobility at least, as ACM is still popping out some scouts here, surprisingly.
Yeah, he's just, lightly sprinkling in a few scouts here and there. Seasoning the opponent's base, as you will.
Yeah, probably the reason behind that is because you see double monasteries from Slugtarn. So having a few scouts out here could help quite a bit at killing the monks, because on the south, Bad Boy has already lost 2 Conics to conversion.
And there's going to be free in just a second. Going for the delete, but you have to double delete it!
And actually, this was great. The monk apparently lost all his fate, despite the fact that that knight was, or that Conic was deleted, and now the footman could actually chase down the monk.
What?
That was a 35% fate for that monk, Areno.
Okay, thanks, DE. That was weird. Yeah. Anyway, monks are going to be one of the best counters to Conics. So it's good for Slugtarn that he's going for that. Also, he built his monastery right next to a relic, so you get a little bit of extra Aztec relic gold, which is always going to be nice. TC now coming in the south for Slugtarn. That's going to be actually number 4 for him.
Yeah, can we just appreciate the fact that all of the players are 3 TCs basically, but Leary has 78 villagers in comparison to everybody being at 55. Yeah,
Well, Leary was the only player to go like
Leary's 4 pieces
full
now.
boom.
Yeah, Leary is going full feudal or full Castle Age boom here, and he's actually close to clicking him. This is basically just Hera, Heart, and Stockton delaying until Leary can snowball this one with Paladins in him, and he's actually getting closer to that.
I mean, yeah, Teuton Paladins are pretty sick with their melee armor right now. And, oh, gotta be careful, say my name. He doesn't quite have Bodkin yet, so those Cav Archers just feel kind of meh. But still, gonna be pushing right now. But yeah, out of all 8 players in this game, the only one to go for 0 aggression whatsoever was Leary, and that's definitely paying off in terms of good villager count.
Leary is actually doing 5 TC boom. That's why he's so high.
Yeah. And he's, of course, Teutons with a great boom.
Do you consider Turkish Cav Archers sort of a counter to the Teuton Knight push?
It makes things a bit trickier, but I think once Paladin comes in, you just run over the Cav Archers anyway.
Yeah, makes sense, unless, like, say my name is going to be Imp as well, but that doesn't seem likely. So right now, AM is just waiting for Leary to snowball this one. They might lose a few villagers here and there, but Slocktown is kind of just, you know, playing the role of the meat shield over here.
Yep, another Krepos coming in the south. Nice snipes on the Mangudai. I think that's actually going to be very important, is the Cav Archers from Say My Name versus the Mangudai numbers of Hera. Because if Say My Name can use the much better production that Cav Archers have in the mid-game, then I think that's going to be really important in terms of otherwise dealing with Mangudai, which are just better units.
Yeah, meanwhile, a bad fight over here, I would say, for Naked Man. Those Organ Guns are pretty much clustered up over there, and a lot of Knights died to take that fight.
But all the Organ... actually, no, not all the Organ Guns are dying, but most of them are dying. It's really not great to have the Organ Gun numbers reset.
Yeah, you want a big bowl of Organ Guns, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, another TC coming in here for Rolls-Royce. Gray now clicking up to Imp, that will be Slacktarn. And, you know, Aztecs, some elite chicken suit men could be quite good. Oh, villagers, though, from Hera, gotta be careful to the Crep Post.
Yeah, indeed. Seeing what we're seeing right now from Rolls-Royce, Bad Boy, and Say My Name over here, they're trying to kind of finish off Slucktarn over here. But I don't think that should be the priority, because Slucktarn is definitely the weakest of the 4 players on Naked Man. And even if you kill Slucktarn, you can potentially think that the other 3 might be able to carry this one if they have an untouched boom.
Well, we'll have to see. Oh, that was a pretty nice Mangonel hit, and uh-oh, Cav Archers could be coming trapped as Knights coming in here from Heart from the north. Cav Archers stopping to go for the Monks, but that seems to have been a little bit costly. Oh, even Hera trying to come in on the flank-a-doodle, and this is just such a huge disaster for Say My Name. He really needed to maintain those Cav Archer numbers. Now even more coming in. Oh, no!
Yeah, Hera is just absolutely killing it with the Mangudai. There's defensive castle for Slucktarn, so he's going to be living a happy life, and a very aggressive castle coming from Leary on the front line. And I assume that soon Rams will start pushing in those weak paw side walls. And Leary is just going to flood the eco of Vietnam with a bunch of Cavaliers. Indeed, he's just rallying numbers right now, but Bad Boy says hold on. Bad Boy also has 120 villagers. He was trying to go for Conic, but he's not going to be able to mass the numbers, that's the problem. He has the eco, and he's going to have Imp very soon, but he's not going to have the chance to mass numbers. So unless it's Bulgarian Cavalier, then Bad Boy is just not going to have the numbers.
Yeah, already busting in through the palisade, trying to come in with a quick gate! Very nicely done there, even pulling the villagers to prevent an overchop. He wasn't super close, but, you know, Bad Boy, he's got some quick moves. And that at least saved our Vietnamese team from an immediate death, although I still think they're in a horrible position.
Yep. Say My Name, planning to hook up into Imperial, just getting Loom for himself. Nice and aggressive map.
Well, when in doubt, make every map Black Forest.
Yeah, basically. And honestly, Vietnam has good eco. It's just the fact that they don't really have Imp. And if Leary cannot snowball this one with Imperial Age units, this might not be as good for AM or Naked Man as we thought it would be. Because it's not like Hart has a massive army right now. And it's not like Leary's army is undefeatable, especially if there is Boyars coming from ACCM.
Oh, but... Oh, Organ Guns again caught out of position. Oh, that's so painful. ACCM's castles have no no upgrades on them, so they're not really doing all that much damage to the Cavalier. And now we get to not enjoy the part where Boyars actually lose to Teuton Paladins.
Well, there is going to be a lead Boyar coming in for ACCM, so he's just waiting for the right moment to strike. But meanwhile, on the left side, we also have Say My Name slowly pushing hard here. Say My Name is also getting Thumbring. And on the south, we also have Slugtarn getting kind of destroyed by Bad Boy with the conic numbers increasing. And if the conic numbers increase, Leary could be in trouble. He's losing some gold miners on the south. But there is the Cavaliers inside the eco now. That's going to be a very, very painful thing to deal with for the Vietnamese team.
It will, but the scores are actually... They're getting more even, not less even, which is pretty surprising, because I thought that this was actually getting pretty close to GG, and indeed one of the...
Here are the Boyars, though. And Boyars taking the fight against the Teuton Paladins. 7 melee armor against 9 melee armor from the Boyars, and Boyars will clean that one up. And being honest, AM wasn't able to inflict a massive amounts of damage, and Hart is just going up to Imperial. So he's not really going to be a factor for the next few minutes. And in the meanwhile, on the south, they're losing ground, and on the north, you soon will have Sipahi Kev Archers with Party and Tactics for Say My Name. Although I don't see his castle anywhere. Oh, he still doesn't have a castle. That's actually pretty bad.
Yeah, it's also getting raided by these Teuton Paladins. And, wow, there's a score flip right now, guys. You know, Oh My Goss is holding on. Some of the Paladins are getting cleaned up. And now Bad Boy's getting stirrups, and then the Conics are going to be really sick once that comes in. They're going to be full upgrades.
Pikeman from Slugtarn on the south. And indeed, there is still quite a lot of Paladins killing Say My Name over here. That's going to really impact his eco. He has to pull all those Cav Archers back. Not sure where those Paladins got inside, but they will do a lot of damage. But look at ACCM, who's playing beastly in the recent times. Just the flood of Boyars in this one.
Oh, now we're seeing Conics versus Teuton Paladins. I have no idea how this one goes. The monks could totally change the tide, though, and it looks like the greater numbers of Paladins are standing tall, and Rolls-Royce with the very opportune pause.
How do you know who is the one pausing?
Because it says game paused, unpaused by Rolls-Royce.
Oh, I don't have that. But, yeah, that's a lot of monks from Slugtarn, but honestly, yeah, that's actually quite a lot. 10 monks with 80 HP. But it is a lot, kind of micro-heavy, I would say, to manage them, as Bad Boy apparently lost the castle on the south. And you don't really have the mobility with those monks. And those Boyars could be still pretty scary in this one.
Oh, this is now getting to be a problem for Bad Boy. Just production. He's got a ton of Conics queued up, but he only has the 2 Krepos from which to make them. And
he needs to start adding Cavaliers, I believe.
And indeed, he does have a bunch of stables on the way. But they're not in just yet. And this could be another opportunity. Now you have Mangudai here for Hera. Elite almost in. Remember that Boyars now do have 3 Pierce Armor, the same as Paladins, but they are a little bit slower. And, yeah, some good old Hera micro might just be enough here.
Yeah, ACCM is playing pretty sick, though, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So he's playing insanely good. And meanwhile, Bad Boy on the south is getting pushed back. In the middle, we probably see an Arbalest switch, though, from Rolls-Royce, judging by the amount of ranges, although it could be a lead skirm as well.
Oh, huge fight here. Mangudai and Paladins and Monks versus Conics and Boyars. Not something you get to see every day. This is pretty nice. But it looks like it's going to be good enough here for Naked Men. Those Teuton Paladins are absolutely insane. Yeah.
It's not just the Teutonic Paladin, it's also about the fact that you have a lot of monks healing from the back.
Yeah, that's true as well. Actually, there weren't that many conversions. There were only like 4 or something.
Yeah, but the healing is much more important. Still, ACCM is not giving up, and finally the army from Say My Name arrives as well. heavy cav archer coming in with Sipahis right now. And we do have NakedMen just setting up the trade. And one thing is in the favor of Vietnamese team, aside from the score. Vietnamese team has corner-to-corner trade, whereas NakedMen does not.
No, they do not. They were faster in getting trade established at all, but they don't have it just yet. Actually, they just have trade carts waiting, so they don't even have that.
And in the meanwhile, there is Boyars pushing the middle here in Leary's base. Slugtarn is the only player below 100 Voyagers right now. And an Arbalest switch will happen for Rolls-Royce, and honestly, we haven't seen a lot of army from Rolls-Royce so far. It was always just a few Organ Guns. If he can really start to be a factor in this one and pop out the Arbalasts, this could be very problematic for Slugtarn.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rolls-Royce was just trying to go for the fun organ gun play, but then you just keep on getting those numbers reset, and it's just really hard. Cav Archer's almost fully upgraded here from Semifinal, just missing out on Ring Archer armor. 100 HP on those Turk Cav Archers, and they are going to be absolute tanks. The Boyar's going to be doing a good amount of tanking as well. And right now, we have our Vietnamese team, oh my gosh, pushing forward here. Hald plus two-handed swordsman plus Konik, the full Bulgarian special, cleaning up Aztecs.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, Bad Boy is losing a lot of castles and Krepos in his base. In fact, I think he lost the majority of his buildings. He's rebuilding Krepos on the southern corner, and that's going to be perfect.
Oh, we saw a game earlier that was one player pushing with bombard towers here in the south of Bedouins. And that was, like, preventing trade there is what won the game. And I think they were also in red. I think they were Koreans. But yeah, a ton of Konigs queued up as well. Whereas the trade, it's definitely in its fledgling stages for Oh My Gosh, but it's definitely getting there pretty safely.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, Slugtarn is out of gold. Hera has 21 on gold, but I think it's the majority of them is just trade cards without caravan going in a very, very inefficient route. And if you look at Vietnam, they have a relatively good trade going on, and it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, definitely. Castle from Slugtarn is being taken down as well. Interesting that we actually have a bunch of swordsmen coming in here from Bad Boy. I guess feeling like that's what he needs to be doing at this point. But yeah, Slugtarn definitely not going to be loving life at this point. And right now, I feel like the army is just a lot better for Oh my gosh, and I'm not too sure what Hart's been up to.
Hart's been producing Cavaliers, and now he's adding quite a lot of ranges. So it could be skirms as a desperate effort to stop Semifinal here because... is it Cav Archers?
Yeah, and it's going to be bombard towers from Rolls-Royce. That is one way you can very effectively contribute to a team. Yeah, the good old BBT absolutely. Doom push. And just look at the map control in favor of the Vietnamese team. They've been doing such an amazing job.
Yeah, exactly. They're pushing the middle here. And as I said, Slugtarn is out of gold here. And those two Paladins don't really do well against the Arbalest. And I feel like the biggest decider factor here was that Rolls-Royce has given up on the Organ Guns and just went for Arbalest. And suddenly
went for the boring good unit.
Yeah, basically, yes. And in the meanwhile, there's a castle coming up here from Bad Boy as well in the corner, killing the villagers. AM might be out of gold here in a very, very short amount of time. And the Vietnam, or Oh My Gosh to be precise, could be 2 games ahead of them in a best-of-7 semifinals.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would be surprised by that. Leary with a bunch of trade carts just idling around, not doing a whole heck of a lot. Mangudai from Hera are running every which way, but, I mean, Mangudai cannot be everywhere at once. And just this middle push with now the Bombard Towers, Arb Boyar Bombard Tower. That's going to be really tough to deal with, and I don't think you can push Say My Name too effectively here in the north. And Leary's just running around, but it doesn't seem to be getting anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I really want to credit, as we have a final desperate effort from Leary. I think all he wants to do is just stand in the Paladins right now, and, you know, this is one of those desperate efforts where you just want to make sure that you can get into the opponent's trade and somehow do some damage to it. But apparently quick walls are coming in here from ACC, and there is a need for one more quick wall on the south because there's an opening. ACCM, what a beast! But his own trade card might be laming him here.
Nope, and indeed, that will be it. The game is over. Wow, that was a really sick game. That was like, it looked pretty bad earlier on for Oh My Gosh, but they definitely made it work.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I really want to credit Bad Boy for those quick gates at an earlier
Yeah,
stage, because if those don't go up, there would have been a bunch of knights in their eco. So that was potentially a lifesaver
that could
for them.
honestly that could have been like the determining factor because think how much it delayed Leary in terms of doing anything. Like he had so many Cavalier, but he just couldn't really do anything. And honestly, Bad Boy did a pretty nice job in the south. You know, getting a good eco, had lots of Konix. Even when he was losing his castles, he made I think pretty effective tech switches into the heavier infantry play. And just the overall team play and coordination has been so beautiful here from Oh My Goss.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great team synergy. So they went for the team wars. The quick wars worked quite nicely. Although Bad Boy has a pretty messy eco, but I feel like the thing is with Vietnamese is that even though they are probably they are not as skilled players as AM players are, they somehow find a way to contribute at basically any moment in the game. So like
Yeah.
if you look at Bad Boy's farming eco, it's an absolute disaster. Half of the farmers are idle. But in the meanwhile, he was able to just get a castle up on the south and be annoying, get some connects out. He wasn't really doing a lot, but what he was contributing with, he got the maximum out of it, I think.
Yeah, and that you know he had the quick walls, and then he probably the denying the trade is probably one of the big deciding factors in forcing out the GG. And it's something I want to point out is if you look at the scores of Oh My Goss, they're all around like 1,000 apart. Like everybody is contributing here in a fairly egalitarian way, which I think is just really great to see.
Although that is partially influenced by the fact that they have team wars, so there wasn't really anyone taking massive amounts of damage. Whereas for AM, Slugturn was basically the meat shield, and they knew that. That was the strategy to have Slugturn kind of just holding them up, slowing them down. Same for Heart and Hera, and then let Leary boom into Imperial. Leary had a crazy boom, but I feel like what was missing was the massive amounts of military from the rest of the players.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what Hart was doing. I mean, it seemed like he was not really touched when he didn't have that big of an army, and you're kind of just going for knights, but Leary's already going for that, so it's just kind of weird.
I mean, I'm not against the double paladin play, especially considering that the mobility of those two paladins are kind of garbage. But yeah, I think it could have been more interesting if Hera is the one booming into Imperial as well. And then Hart is also playing the delay game. So Hart and Slugturn delay and allow Leary and Hera to boom into Imp. Because then if you have a decent blob of Megadai and a decent blob of Paladins, good luck stopping that.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with Nerfox that Naked Men losing on Bedouins, like, you'd think that would be their best map. So let's see if they can turn this around. This is a best of 7, guys. It's not a best of 5, so there's a little bit of breathing room for Naked Men, but they're definitely gonna want to win this next one. And it is always loser pick, so they will get to pick again.
Okay, what do you pick now if you're Naked Man? Do you go Land Nomad?
Land Nomad or Cross. I think one of those two.
Oh, Cross could also be a good one. It's a very open map. Honestly, it's tricky because I feel like if we just take a look at the players, how good they can boom, let's say, if they're walled off, I would say AM is way better at booming, and because of that, they should be able to snowball in late game. And for that reason, Land Nomad could be better for them. But then again, I feel like Vietnam is also doing a decent job booming, so there isn't really that big of a skill difference in very long games as I thought it would be.
Yeah, definitely. I actually need to take a quick break, but I'll be right back, everybody. Hope you're enjoying this best of 7.
Yeah, I'll be here to entertain you, you know.
Please do.
So, what we're going to do while we're waiting is let me just open up Google and awful jokes and puns. Just give me a moment and we'll be here. 105 best dead jokes that will make you cringe. 150 horrible jokes that are so bad they're actually good. That's what we're going for. Alright, so let's see. What streets do ghosts haunt? Dead ends. What does a zombie vegetarian eat? Grains. What did the blanket say as it fell off the bed? Oh shit. What else? What's green and has wheels? Grass. I lied about the wheels. What does a house wear? A dress. I'm terrified of elevators, so I'm going to start taking steps to avoid them.
Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Oh no. Has Lita been ruining the stream with his wonderful jokes?
I actually found a collection of 150 funniest bad jokes everybody will love.
Ah. Half of my subs unsubbed. Well,
yeah, I know half of your followers unfollowed as well. And half of your real life friends hate you now.
Well, you know, you sometimes need to make sacrifices for the cause. Anyway, Cross seems to be our next map. They are in the lobby, but I imagine they'll be getting started in just a moment.
Only, do you know what house is where?
Nope.
Address.
Address? Yeah. How do you know which house is where? Address.
You don't get the joke.
Nope.
Oh, feels bad, man.
It's... How do you know which house is where?
No. Just, what does a house wear?
Oh, what does a house wear? I thought you said which house is where.
No.
Okay,
What
that
does a
makes...
house wear? A dress.
That makes a lot more sense.
Oh, gotta love when I kind of have to explain jokes.
You know it's the best when you have to explain the joke.
Alright, so teams are getting ready, and we are going into Cross Nomad. This is going to be a first time for me seeing Cross Nomad, so I'm actually curious how this is going to play out.
It's a fun one. There's a lot of things I've learned from OBNC. You know, a lot of things that I can do better, a lot of things that I'm happy with. One of the things is the map pool. I think every single map has been great. And Cross has had some really great games.
Yeah, I'm actually curious
unless you're
about
Aztecs
that, because...
or Luca.
Yeah, unless you're Luca.
Let's just say Luca might have been like 2 kills and 30 deaths with like the single worst monk rush I have ever seen.
That probably explains Luca's Age of Empires career in a nutshell.
Yeah, it was
I might have been a bit too savage on this one,
oh,
but this
feels
was just
bad, man.
like, there's no way you miss a Luca joke like that.
No, never. Especially when you know, I used to clap him and then he clapped me. Gotta get my my revenge in some small way.
Alright, so here we go, Cross 4v4, and we have Chinese, Goths, Lithuanians, and Malay. For Vietnam, as opposed to Magyars, Koreans, Burmese, and Biz.
Interesting. It would be nice if, these things were sorted, but I suppose, we have to take what little victories we can. Huh. Chinese Goths, not the greatest, but Malay and Lithuanians are fantastic. And then...
Yeah, Malay and Lithuanians are amazing. I would also say Goths are pretty good. For what HCCM was doing in this tournament so far, Goths are actually pretty good. He was always basically playing pocket and having a decent boom and then flooding the map with high quality units, like he did with the Boyars, like he did with the Knights and then Cavaliers in the first game. So I can see him again falling back to a pocket position and then just booming up to get some flood. And meanwhile, I could imagine Bad Boy and Rolls Royce are just delaying with Lithuanians and Chinese. And then say my name, if he has a safe pond, we could just have a resign and a restart.
That would be the Naked Men restart. Maybe they didn't like their civs?
Myers, Burmese, Koreans, Biz, totally understandable. 2 games behind, this is not really a sharp civilization matchup. I would say, I mean, it's not awful, but you don't really have any great civs in terms of Nomad.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I tend to be fairly... all the civs are more or less fine, but, like, especially the AM guys are very particular in which civs they like.
And yeah, let's not forget, as I said, that they are 2 games behind, so you're a bit more picky with your civilizations when you are 2 games behind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you would put... we've seen players put their TCs near the water. We've seen players put their TCs inland. We've seen, like, one player way off to the side, a bunch of other players clustered. This has a lot to offer, because you can look at all 4 ponds and see that there's, like, 2v1, some that's, like, one person getting a free fish boom by themselves. I've seen 3v1. There's a lot that this map has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I feel like, now that I think over the civilizations, do you think that it was more about the fact that the Vietnam had some very, very good civilizations and not necessarily the fact that AM had some okay-ish but not exceptionally good ones? Because Malay, if you have an untouched fish boom, that's going to be crazy on this map. Then you have Lithuanians, amazing pocket civilization. Then you have Goths, which could be very, very dangerous on a relatively open map like this. So...
maybe.
I can see them calling a restart because their opponents actually had good saves and they had like the okay saves in this one. But we have a re.
Yep.
And do you have one or 2 restart for each team?
1 restart.
Okay, so no re remaining for either side. And AM after reroll getting Frank Skelts, Teuton Slavs. Talk about some farming and some berry bonuses here.
Wow.
I have mixed feelings about those civs.
That's like when you go to the store and you're like, can I have like one of those more heavy cavalry, infantry, CG sorts of civs? And then they just like, it's a buy one, get one, 3 free. Because, oh man, those are like 4 civs that all do the same thing, more or less.
Oh, actually this reminded me more like when you join into the Black Forest No Noobs Please lobby, and then your team is going to have a composition like this.
No, yep, pro Ornlu overlay. Yeah, no, this is like when everyone joins the lobby, and like it's, Black Forest Noobs, and everybody wants to be pocket.
Yeah, that was always...
It's like everyone just picks all the pocket civs.
But anyways, we have Say My Name with Lithuanians, which is amazing for a hybrid map like this.
Bad Boy with Italians, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
ACCM with
if only-
Burmese, which is pretty good, and Rolls-Royce with Spanish, which is also really good.
yeah. And looking at the maps, it feels like it's going to be a little bit more massive. It's more or less south to the north, but what is interesting is that, like, EM is going to have their TCs. Like, look at where Hera is placing his TC. This makes me believe that he just wants to have the craziest fish boom that's humanly possible.
And we've actually seen
Meanwhile-
that on this map. Like players who can like put their TCs near the docks and they just go for super big fish boom.
But look at the amount of space that AM is having for themselves. It's like the tiny bit of a portion here on the right side of the map is where all 4 of the AM players will actually be. But this apparently will mean that the left-hand side pond is going to be only in the hands of Rolls-Royce, and since there's a bunch of palm trees on the shoreline, walling this one off is easy as child's play, so this is going to mean that Bad Boy or Rolls-Royce could actually have a crazy fish boom here. Potentially Fast Castle Kongs could be a play for him. Bad Boy in the pocket, he's going to have to fight for the water, but I mean, Hart has 1 villager over here, and it's not like... I don't think he can actually hold this lake in the long run. If he loses this well, there is no repair potential, no more dock potential. And
he has
could
Italians,
easily be
though.
doubled.
He has Italians, though.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So apparently right side and southern lake is going to be AM Lake, and on the north we are going to have Lake for our Vietnamese team. And what is surprising to me is that I don't see Say My Name's dock. Does he have one? I don't think so.
Oh,
And that's very
weird.
surprising with Lithuanians, because Lithuania is one of those cities where you can go for the very early dock.
Yeah. That is a little bit strange. I'm going to turn on team colors for just a second, so that we can all get a better idea where everybody is. And yeah, you can see that Leary, Hera, Slacktarn, and Hart are all in between the southern and easternmost ponds. So it's going to be pretty cray-cray. I think it's going to be... It's like... There's going to be a struggle in terms of them getting map control, but it's going to be pretty hard to pressure them, and I think that you can divide and conquer the Vietnamese players.
Yeah, that's true. One of the things that AM has with this kind of small map control that they have is that they can pretty much defend themselves very easily. So it's as easy wall off, and then you kind of have your back safe. Bad thing is that you don't really have a huge amount of gold to work with in a super late game. But as you said, the map for Vietnamese team will be a lot more open, and apparently Say My Name is going to drop his dock on the right side over here in this one, sandwiched between 2 AM players. That's going to be a dead dock at some point, I believe.
Last thing you want is, you're going to build a dock, and then you just get sandwiched between 2 naked men. That's always pretty feels bad, man, all around.
Yeah, indeed. That beach is just full of naked men.
Mm-hmm. It's a very, very progressive area.
But I really like that Rolls-Royce is just going to say, like, my lake. And he's literally just going to make this into a pond arena map, completely walling the entire pond, and just saying, okay, my fish boom.
Oh yeah, we've seen players do that on this map fairly frequently, as it is fairly easy to wall off, and if you know that you're the only one, then you just drop 2 or 3 docks and you just get like 20 fishing ships, and it feels good, man.
What even is a more feels-good moment is that look at ACCM's villager on the southern pond on Hera's position. Hera's going to find that with his horsey horse, but ACCM is actually going to drop his dock on the southern pond, and that could make Hera's fish boom a lot less efficient. And at this very moment, what I could imagine is potentially Say My Name trying to delay Leary and Slugtar on the right-hand side lake as much as possible. ACCM kind of taking a fight against Hera on the southern lake, and Bad Boy on the northern lake against Hart. Because right now, all of the fish for AM is exposed, so they are forced to fight on water. If they invest into land army, they will just lose their ponds.
Yeah, I think this is actually pretty good for Oh My Goss, just because you have one player who can really commit to the fish boom, and then they can just mess everything up for others. I think that Hera should be having a really sick eco, though. He's had fishing ships from pretty early on, but still not clicking up just yet. And indeed, it will actually be Bad Boy, the first guy to click up. And he's Italian, so it's not too surprising.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this is great for Vietnam because, as I said, oh my gosh, will have to, or the Naked Men will have to fight for their fish on every pond they have. Whereas for Rolls-Royce, he's going to be the only player who's going to have an absolutely untouched fish boom over here at the back. And that's a lot of fish for one person. He's going to have a crazy good eco, and then he can just go FC, play Conquistadors, and then he can start pushing the AM guys on land.
It still will be difficult to actually push the AM guys, though, because they are covering each other for the most part. But we'll have to see what they're going to be up to. Already a second dock up for Bad Boy, and it's going to be real painful for Hart here.
Yep, indeed. This is going to be really painful. And on the other hand, Hera is adding 5 villagers to go. This means that he is going to go for Fire Galleys, I believe, dropping a second dock on the southern pond. And Leary is also potentially dropping a dock over there. On the north, second dock from Say My Name, though, so I guess Say My Name is going to commit to the fight on the right-hand side, try to kill Slugtarn. And Slugtarn is actually pretty late into Feudal Age, which means that ACCM is going to have a head start at ship production, and that could be pretty devastating.
There's dock number 3 for Say My Name. It needs to quick wall in the villager, maybe?
It's going to be Leary.
What?
Yeah, but that's the first hit from Say My Name.
Yeah,
villager.
why would you do
Say My
that?
Name is going to win that fight.
Yeah, that's so weird. Leary now going to be trapping the villager in, but I don't think the villager cares that much as long as he can finish the dock.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And in the meanwhile, on the north, we already have Fire Galleys popping out here for Bad Boy. Hart has added the second dock himself, but he's already outnumbered in terms of Fire Galley numbers. And apparently, we are seeing ACCM adding villagers to stone in this one, clicking up quite late. This is surprising. I thought he's going to contest the southern pond, but it feels like he's just going to give up on his fish boom. And we might see a run-by pretty soon from him, though, because this is definitely an FC into a run-by.
And a run-by can be really scary on these sorts of hybrid maps. But it seems weird that you would invest in... Oh no, he only invested into one dock. Okay. That makes a bit more sense. It still feels weird to give up on, you know, a bunch of fishing ships, but a run-by on hybrid maps are just going to be so scary. Just because you're not facing a ton of, like, walls or armies right away. Could be really good.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, Say My Name is going to trade off one of his villagers on the right side to one of Leary's villagers, and apparently Say My Name is going to lose fishing eco, but I think it's fine for him. Right now, basically Leary is occupied with dealing with this fleet, and in the meanwhile, ACCM on the south is also going to lose the majority of his fishing eco. On the north, we have Bad Boy taking a relatively even fight against Hart. What would be amazing for Bad Boy is if he could actually snipe that villager with a demo, because those repair villagers are a bit annoying here for Bad Boy. But as I said, clean fish boom for Rolls-Royce, and he's going castle here.
He's going to be able to afford a Rolls-Royce soon with all of this eco, man.
Yeah, Castle is also coming in here for Slugtarn, and I assume we could see Knights coming from him, but honestly, if you take a look at AM, they just don't have any military buildings. We will have a wall-off here from Hart and Slugtarn, but they kind of leave Hera and especially Leary out of the party.
Yeah, could be some big demo hits for actually both players, but honestly, Leary's doing a really nice job winning water against Say My Name. Leary actually is an incredibly strong water player, especially early on, kind of, I think, one of the more underrated aspects of Leary as a player. And in the north, Hart is actually holding his own against Bad Boy, which I think is really impressive, all things considered, since he was so much later up to Feudal and is, you know, Teutons against Italians.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hart is doing an excellent job on north. But remember that in the meanwhile, he's unable to do military. So right now, yeah, they're holding. Leary is occupied with Say My Name, but I think this is an acceptable trade for the Vietnamese team. Because Rolls-Royce was doing nothing but just booming up into Castle Age here. He's going to have decent amount of resources, and I wouldn't even be surprised to see an aggressive forward castle from him. And similarly, ACCM is also going into Castle. So sure, the pawns might be in the hands of AM, but what are they going to do with that?
Yeah, we'll have to see. because when you look at the civs of AM, Naked Men, none of them really speak to you as civs that are good against Arambai, or conquistadors for that matter. So that could be a big issue, especially when you're, like, it's 4 civs without Bracer. Like, it's gonna be so tricky to deal with those guys. But still, your eco being so much stronger, definitely could make it work.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, ACCM is not giving up on the southern pond. I love that quite a bit. He's dropping another dock. His job is to just harass Hera as much as possible here.
Yeah, but he's not really doing that much in terms of harassing. I mean, he's forcing out his opponent to make warships, but other than that, not really, you know, destroying any fishing ships or anything like that.
And look at that castle drop from ACCM, though. Villagers will be pulled from Leary, and honestly...
That's not happening.
Yeah, that could be ACCM getting a castle up in Leary's face.
Is it? Oh no, more villagers!
Oh, Lord Doubt.
Oh,
Lord
the second tower here! Send all the vills!
It's going to be like one dead player in exchange for another. So instead of ACCM going for like Arambai, actually, I don't think he's going to lose that much. And I mean, Leary is going to lose quite a lot here immediately. Like those Voyagers are all dead. And if you compare the Voyager count, I mean, ACCM is 25. Leary is going to drop down to something like, what, 30? Because these Voyagers from towers, I don't think they will actually escape. Not ideal, but
honestly,
I think what Leary...
That was surprisingly few villager deaths, all things considered.
Yeah. I really want to give credit to Hard, though, for winning the Northern Pond. That's actually pretty impressive. But in the meanwhile, let's not forget about Rolls-Royce, who is going for Conquistadors now. And he's also booming on free TCs. Rolls-Royce is going to have a crazy good eco here, 42. Hera also has a great eco, though. So I'm not so sure about Oh My Gosh's chances here, to be honest.
The score discrepancy is actually massive in favor of Naked Men, so that could be a bit of a problem. But hello, Leary, already with the mass migration of villagers, Arambai now coming in, and that's going to be a bit annoying. And like I was saying, Conquistadors and Arambai are not something that these civs of Naked Men are especially adept in dealing with. Conquistadors now actually busting into the base of, say my name, what? They're on the same... Oh, I guess to bail out with the Knights. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to help out against those Knights over there. But honestly, I feel like the score difference is because of the massive difference in the economies. Right now, all players from AM have a fish boom, and the only player with fish on Oh My Gosh's side is going to be Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
However, this could quickly change if Leary loses his TC over here, and if we start to see more and more Conquistadors in the Arambai on the field.
Also, you have Say My Name, who's just making demo rafts and just sending them into fishing ships as best he can, by the looks of things. That's just really nice to see. Just,
yeah,
like, do everything you can to delay your opponent's fishing eco.
And honestly, it's even more important. Think about this. Leary is just losing his base. He doesn't really have a lot of wood and gold to work with. So, if you can sink his fire galleys here, and keep Say My Name's docks up, you can continue to harass the fishing eco here on the right side. And in fact, I could imagine a redocking attempt here from Say My Name to try and continue to push that lake, because right now Leary doesn't have the capacity to fight on that pond.
Yeah, oh, a little bit of monk micro between Hera and ACCM, and nothing is going to come of it. No units were killed or converted. But Hera's still doing just fine, getting his eco up and running. Slacktarn's been fairly quiet. Seems like he's just focusing on some knight raiding. But right now it's very strange because you have Rolls-Royce and Hera both with an amazing eco, and then everyone else is in varying degrees of not that great.
Yeah, absolutely. But ACCM is going to drop another castle here. There is 700 stone in the bank. Where is he going to drop that? Remember that there is not a lot of space for AM, and that could be a massive issue. There is nowhere to run from here. So, it's okay that they have great fish boom, but where are they going to run if they get a castle drop in their face? Look at that castle from ACCM. What is this?
He does not care. Oh, and Hera just the total
like,
fail quick walls.
Hello. I am bringing in some castles. Hera is probably trying to deny the castle from being dropped on the right side, but that's not the case. ACCM wants to castle drop that gold, the only gold that's accessible for Hera, and since they don't have any land military basically, just a few knights that are losing to the conquistadors, AM is going to have nowhere to get gold from.
Yeah, remember when I said that Arambai and Conquistadors can be really strong on hybrid maps where you don't have a ton of walls or military? I mean, there was nothing stopping ACCM from running in except potential quick walls, which Hera wasn't able to get off. And now there's just this castle in this absolute nightmare of a location for ACCM, and now it's just Leary going full Nomad once again, just having to go every which way. Now Hera building an archery range as Franks, never something you want to be doing.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, Hera actually found some gold on the left side. Now ACCM sees that, and the ACCM also sees villagers from Slugtarn moving to the left, so you can see that AM wants to expand to the left side, both Leary and Hera moving there.
Well,
but remember one thing, in the meanwhile, Rolls-Royce is a free TC boom, absolutely untouched, and he's also raiding with Kongs quite well, so this could be Rolls-Royce snowballing this one very soon. Castle Age coming in for Say My Name here, and remember that Slugtarn has a monastery right next to Say My Name's basic relic inside. If Say My Name destroys that, he's gonna have one relic with Lithuanians, which is not bad.
oh yeah, that's true. That's always going to be pretty nice if possible. I love the Conquistadors running around, how Rolls-Royce is able to apply pressure while simultaneously getting a good eco behind this, because you need to be pressuring Naked Men right now, because they're otherwise going to just completely out macro you with their pawn control. And ACCM losing some Rambai as they get stuck on absolutely nothing. I guess they're just trying to work their way around. But this is still a lot of dead villagers here for AM.
Yeah, absolutely. The villager count is still acceptable for them, though, because the fishing eco is compensating them a tiny bit. But as I said, one thing that could be very, very scary is Rolls-Royce going into Imperial here. And how are they going to stop that? It's a fully boomed Spanish Imperial Age player. We could see Cavaliers coming in very soon. And I feel like one thing that Rolls-Royce could do is just send one Conquistador to each of the gold mines on the map, here on the left side. And then AM has no gold to work with. They kind of have to realize that Hera bailed on his gold. He has to go somewhere, right? He cannot just disappear.
Yeah, I'm just looking if... Okay, so Slugtarn has some gold here, and indeed, here's one Conquistador for Rolls-Royce, just knowing that gold mine from Slugtarn.
Okay, look at the far right side, just by the pond. Do you see the orange villager?
Mm-hmm.
So that is Say My Name's villager in the middle of Lyra's base building houses.
Yep. Nothing to see here, folks.
Say My Name in the meanwhile will commit to war and apparently wants to take Heart's Lake here on the north. I don't think this is going to happen. Heart is going to detect that redocking attempt.
Indeed he will, but look at this castle coming in from Bad Boy! Oh man, now gonna be castle dropping right in the face of Slugtarn. You know what this...
That's actually a great castle.
You know, this map has not had enough of castle drops.
That's double thesis denied, and Slugtarn would also lose his gold over here in this one. And in the meanwhile, apparently Say My Name actually managed to somehow get a dock up on the right-hand side pond, massing fire ships, as Slugtarn is desperately trying to take that down with one single villager. And its fire ships and demos, they will melt the fire galleys here. Plus, remember, Slugtarn has no gold income right now because he just lost his gold mine, so he cannot even produce ships to fight against that. Naked Men could lose the right-hand side pond and be down 3 games in a best of 7.
That is definitely never where you want to be, and it is going to be the Paladin switch coming in here from Rolls-Royce. But honestly, Hera's doing a really impressive job maintaining a very strong villager count. Yeah, Frank skirms aren't the greatest, but they are something as ACCM's coming in. ACCM, why?
You know, there is that meme that says, how many castles would you like to build in this game? And the ACCM is like, yes.
I would like castles, just in general. All of them. That's pretty crazy. Conquistadors now actually starting to shoot away at a town center. The Rams are coming in here from red, but Villager is going to be able to take them down. But once these more and more units flood in here from purple, it's just going to be so tough to deal with. Naked Men still have the score lead, but they're just missing, one of those army things.
Yeah, there is not a lot of places to run to. And apparently, Semifinal might still lose the right-hand side pawn, but Naked Man lost quite a lot of fishing eco over there. And as I said, at one point, the Frankish snowball is just going to arrive. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Paladin coming in for Rolls-Royce. That's why he's floating so many resources. And the Doubt Castle from Heart on the right side.
Oh...
I think both go up.
Yeah, both go up.
But is it the Petard race? No. It's Jambos from Bad Boy, actually, and Petards from Hard. That's actually a better move from Hard.
And free, Rolls-Royce, remember when Teutons got free murder holes back in, Age of Kings?
Oh, feels bad, man. He just lost his entire army over there fighting. But on the other hand, for Hard, the Petard popped out to the wrong side.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward.
Bad Boy could also see that. Bad Boy is still making Jambos and garrisoning them inside the castle, and apparently wants to push this one with Rams. I mean, I don't think that this castle is going to change anything. Hera is going to castle the left side, as Hera is also going Imp.
That's something Leary's actually also all the way over here on the left side as well. I mean, ACCM's been doing a good job rating as the scores just flipped now, by the way. But I feel like this is, like, eventually, Naked Men are going to stabilize.
I'm not so sure. I feel like this is again the situation of it came too late. Slugturn is down to 50 villagers. I mean, ACCM doesn't really have a great villager count either. But if there is like 10 paladins going to the right side, Leary loses his entire eco. And then he's pretty much out of that one. Hart has a pretty messy eco right now and he's fighting for his life, basically.
Oh, another castle drop coming in here. Oh man, stop it! Oh,
and
wow.
there is paladins killing Hera's villagers. Hera is dropping to 105.
Wow.
I have a feeling that we're getting close to a 4-0 here.
I feel like things just really turned on their head, and it was indeed the fully boomed paladins coming in. Just missing Blast Furnace. That's almost into. And, oh man. Wow.
You know, sometimes you look at these games and you just say, oh my gosh.
Indeed. Especially if you're ACCM.
Seems like I missed some good clutching.
ACCM actually has better KD than 1. 62 kills, 55 deaths, despite the fact that all he was doing is suiciding villagers. Basically, Rolls-Royce 107 to 27. Slugton didn't really have a great day, but it was more like about the rating. Hart had a pretty good time, though. Like, Hart actually won that pawn pretty well. But
yeah, just he was struggling, 1v2 essentially.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like what really mattered here is that Vietnam had a dock on each of the Naked Man pawns.
Yeah.
And with that, Naked Man was forced to fight for their fish. And meanwhile, there was one untouched lake for Rolls-Royce. And the fact that they fought for their water meant that there could be players who just FC from the Vietnam team and castle drop you, and basically the lack of land military just killed.
Yep. They were just too slow in getting the army up and rolling. Rolls-Royce with 107 kills to 27 deaths. Dang.
Yeah, that's
sick boom from him.
That's sick. That's pretty sick.
The series isn't over, though, guys, by the way. Like, it's a best of 7, remember, not a best of 5.
Yeah, so this means
you're gonna need a reverse sweep if you're Naked Men.
All right, I'm gonna turn on some lights, but I'll be back in a moment.
No problem.
It's your turn to entertain the chat with jokes.
I shall, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. Really, really sick play from the Vietnamese team. Like, all 4 of them are definitely showing that they're contributing in really important ways. But the games themselves are a lot of fun to watch.
Okay, so I have a tough question for you. So far, like, I'm pretty sure you will be uploading these individual games to your YouTube because all of them are pretty outstanding.
I usually upload one game as like a normal game, and then I have the full series as an unlisted video.
Yeah, but honestly, this is one of those series where selecting one is actually pretty tough because that wanted to be my question. If you had to select one game from this one, which is your favorite or which you think is the most entertaining?
Game 1 was a comeback, which is always great. Game 2 and 3 were just like a really solid play from the Vietnamese team, but it was a little bit better, I think, in game number 3. But yeah, let's the series isn't over yet, and we still have plenty of room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes for good thumbnails.
But honestly, my favorite so far was this Castle Drop game. This was it's not necessarily about how it went, but this is also one of those matches where it wasn't obvious that Vietnam is going to win. We could have had
Oh yeah.
Naked Men outbooming them. In fact, the only thing that was missing for Naked Men, I believe, was just map control. They were so tight on the right side that once they get cornered, there is no escape. If they had a little bit more spread out formation at the beginning, I am pretty sure that they could have just relocated to another gold mine. And in the end, having that much fish really kicks in, and they will be able to snowball that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to the final home map, apparently, for Naked Man. That is going to be Land Nomad.
Yeah, not surprising.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Is the game up for you?
Not yet. And oh boy, we got a video out as well. Mysterious AoE 3D video out on H1Per's Twitter now.
Oh boy.
It's time. It's time to switch into full-time AoE free casting.
Oh no. Don't sink your career like that.
Honestly, I feel like I could actually enjoy doing that as well. It's just the lobby system being absolutely awful in AoE free, like the current AoE free, because you don't have the spectate system. You have to be in the lobby to spectate when the game starts.
Oh, that's weird.
Just like in AoE 1DE. So basically, you take one player's spot. This is why they can't make 4v4 tournaments. Because
that's awkward.
In order to be able to cast that, you need at least one reserved spot for a caster.
Yeah, that's funny.
If you want a co-caster, that's 2 spots.
Yeah. Well, let's see how Land Nomad goes.
Ooh, those are some fancy civs. So, indeed, we are in Land Nomad. And a quick question for you to start off with. What do you think about the civs? Slack turned with Kumans for the second time today, I believe. Lear with Gods, Hera has Aztecs, and Turks for Heart. Other side, it's Mayans, Malay, Mongols, and Chinese. Can you ask for more than that?
I think that's a pretty sick civ advantage for Naked Men.
You know, I opened up ACCM stream in the games between, and Slugthorn actually said in the lobby that you guys are so lucky. Not sure what he was referencing to, but it could have been the civilizations. And I gotta say that this might be the biggest civ advantage for Oh My Goss so far. On the other side, though,
really, I think it's way better for Naked Men.
Is it better for Naked Men? Really?
Oh yeah. You have no good cavalry civs. You got like all of the they're like all archer civs.
The thing is that this somewhat plays out like Black Forest, so I could imagine Rolls-Royce massing elephants in super late game could be one of the ways to play. Or you still have a Bad Boy with Chinese Cavaliers and the potential to go for camos. I see what you mean, but I feel like, yeah, you don't have a great cavalry, but you have insanely mobile, very, very good units like Mangadai, Plumed Archers. You have Rolls-Royce with Malay that can really go for some elephants if they want to. And
the Goths are going to be great against most everything from oh my gosh.
This is why I was hesitant saying that even though I consider the civilizations very, very good for oh my gosh, I feel like Goths are one of those civs that can always snowball a game. It's very funny that you know how to counter Goths, you just go supplies and champions, right? Or scorpions. But it's so hard to do it, especially when the maps are open. It is insanely hard to stop Goths because they would just raid you to death, and there is Leary with an insanely good macro, by the way, behind that one. He starts with free boars right next to his TC as well, close to stone, close to gold, everything he needs. The only concern he has is that there is actually Seiman in this pocket, but honestly, this could get pretty interesting early on over here in the south. You have Hera very close to Rolls-Royce, and you also have Seiman kind of isolated from his friends over here.
That actually could be a bit of a problem. You have Naked Men, Hera, Leary, and then Hart, and then Slacktarn is actually kind of far away, but at least they're all kind of you know, in a row together, whereas you have Say My Name, who is completely cut off from the rest of his team.
Yeah, that's not great. Honestly, I actually like Sluckner's position quite a bit. Because what this means is that it's not so easy for Bad Boy and ACCM to just kind of wall themselves a tiny bit here in this northern corner and just boom. So I feel like the role for Slucktarn in this game, as it appears that the Bad Boy tries to block the border from Slucktarn, unsuccessful at doing so. But I would say that if Slucktarn is able to delay Bad Boy and maybe harass ACCM a tiny bit, then he's actually going to be extremely useful for the team in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Also, you could be seeing a fair amount of aggression, I think, from Slacktarn. As, you know, humans, they can totally make that happen. His villager count's looking really low, though, which is kind of weird. Maybe just had villagers far away.
I'm not sure, or maybe he had, he didn't really have a lot of sheep to work with. I assume that he could have potentially started with deer, and then he didn't actually force drop it in time, so there was a lot of TC at the time. That could be one way. But honestly, Bad Boy is going to be out of boars very, very soon, no more hunt, so he's going to have to live with sheep in this one. ACCM is going to be fine with food. Hart is actually going to have a crazy good food income. He has boars, he has berries, he has a bunch of hunt, 2 more boars. In fact, I could actually imagine Hart sending a few sheep to Leary, because I think Leary will need a lot of food, especially if he wants to do a nice FC, and Hart has quite a lot of food to spare.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly think that if this game were to be, like, more normal, I think this is going to be really... I would already think it would be kind of tough for Goss, but I feel like there could be some really sick, like, Castle Age aggression from, like, Hart. I think that can actually be, like, really hard to stop. Like, with Janissaries and whatnot.
I would say that what Hart could do easily is you go FC Janissaries, and then try to push down Say My Name. Might even drop a castle in his face. It depends on what Say My Name is going for. I don't think that Say My Name can afford to go for FC here in a position like this, but what is he doing then? Like straight archers? That's not really going to be impressive. And you can see that Vietnam is kind of already setting up the team walls here. So ACCM walling off on the north, and apparently Bad Boy and Say My Name will be left out of the party here.
All feels bad, man.
The other...
No, I was just going to say, look at that feudal age time here from Hera. He wants to go aggressive.
Yeah, and I like that. Aztecs, he's already on free on gold. This is probably going to be a straight archers build, but I wouldn't even be surprised to see some tower follow-ups if that's the case. And honestly, if you compare it to what will be Say My Name's uptime, Hera's first thing to do would be, I would say, to just harass Say My Name to hell.
Oh yeah, Say My Name is like... Say My Name's dead, pretty much. Like,
yeah.
There's really nothing he's going to be able to do, and he has like no mineral resources at all.
Yeah, honestly, just a few towers would actually do wonders, and the reason why I think that should be Hera's job is because it's better if you allow Leary to just sit back and boom here,
Yes.
like a good Gothic player would actually do, and just make sure Say My Name is unable to disrupt that boom, because one of the worst things that could happen to Naked Man, I believe, is that Say My Name disrupts Leary's boom and delays the Gothic flood.
Yeah, that would definitely be a problem.
Look at that wall from Slugturn. He's like, you're not really getting in here.
Is this like walling him in or out? I'm not too sure. But on the other side, you have Bad Boy who's walling in the resources of Slugturn, so some good messy Nomad stuff right here.
Okay, I want to point out a very, very important thing in the middle. If you look at ACCM's walls close to his stone mine, to the north of the house, a sheep from Heart just walked in. There's actually a hole that ACCM didn't notice. This could be something to pay attention for in the long run. And apparently, Rolls-Royce is going to take away Hera's gold mines. Both of the gold mines are gone for the Canadian here, because for whatever reason, there was no archers here from Hera to stop that tower from going up, and Hera right now has no gold income. Now, he sees the gold mine in the north, so he could actually move that way. It's not really a big of a deal for him right now, but I like Rolls-Royce's opening here quite a bit. Say My Name just going up into Castle A, or Feudal.
Yeah, but he's so exposed. Like, Hera just sending, like, literally any of those archers down could do a ton of work. Leary will actually be our first player up to Castle Age, just going for the straight FC play. It will actually be Fast Castle Knights by the looks of things here for Hart, which is totally fine.
Yeah, honestly, Leary is not on stone, which is somewhat surprising.
No, it's just
he could
booming.
still... Yeah, he could just boom, and that means that we could see indeed Hart going fast as Knights. I actually like that quite a bit, because you can be a tiny bit faster with Knights. In fact, we do have some scouts coming in here from Hart. I like that quite a bit, because this could actually force Rolls-Royce back into his towers and, just help out Hera as much as possible. Or just loop around with the scouts and start hitting villagers on the stone mine, for example. Hart has no idea about that stone mine, but he could easily find that, and 3 scouts could cause so much chaos.
Also, can you take a moment to appreciate that Say My Name without a care in the world is just going FC Plumes? Like, he's like at the most exposed eco ever!
Honestly, I'm not sure if he knows about Leary and Hart. If you take a look at his scouting, he's probably like, oh yeah, Hera is on the north, and Rolls-Royce is going to slow him down, and I'm just gonna go FC because I'm in a good position. I think he has no idea that Leary and Hart are so close. I also like that Bad Boy just casually went out to the middle of nowhere for some berries.
Just gotta get some forage bushes, man.
What is this? Look at the right side. There's actually a random barracks right next to Slugturn's TC.
Sometimes in life I've found that if you don't ask questions, you will have more understanding.
Yeah, Rolls-Royce in the meanwhile lost quite a lot of villagers on the stone mine. I think he lost all but 1, so he's down to 25 right now. And the back of the base for Vietnam is actually open, so even though actually ACCM is fully vaulted, so he's going to be fine with the exception of the hole that he has. And that is a castle Mangudais will be popping out very soon here for ACCM.
Indeed.
And it appears that he's going to wall in his villagers on the left side as well, so Hart isn't going to find anything to kill here. Those scouts could be best used right now to try and pressure Say My Name, who's just casually booming here.
Yeah, again, like, you're going after ACCM? Like, just kill the guys who are, like, undefended and in feudal age. Like, do they know about, Say My Name? They don't know!
Oh, they don't know?
Oh my
There is
god!
no way.
Oh my gosh! You've got to be
They
kidding.
don't know that.
They don't... Oh, my...
That's the sneakiest of all sneaky sneaks.
Just when
They
your
have no
entire
idea
existence
say my name is there.
you're unaware. I was like, why are they just
Oh.
killing him? Oh my god. That is a little
man.
Akko Taco.
And imagine what kind of damage Say My Name could do if he castle drops Lear now. Problem is that Say My Name doesn't know where his opponents are either, although he might suspect. If you take a look at his scouting, he lost a few sheep here and there, so he probably suspects there is someone there, but I wonder if he knows that the Gothic player is right next to him, and last time I checked, Gots usually decimate the
Mayans?
in this one. Hart will have to fall back with his scouts because Hera is kind of struggling to defend against Rolls-Royce's Thrush here. Rolls-Royce is just thrashing the hell out of him right now.
Has Hera really taken any damage, though? Lost
I'm not
2
sure, but
units.
he's kind of off from gold.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would be easier for him to move to the north, although there is Mangadice coming in here. Hart will be fully walled, or at least will be fully walled at some point when he finishes the wall in the north. And do you think camos could actually be a little bit more reasonable here for Hart? Just for the sake of being able to deal with those Mangadi early on?
I don't think it matters too much. The Mangudai are completely unupgraded for the time being. I'm kind of surprised Hera just hasn't been able to find any damage, but... I mean, Say My Name is just... You know, wearing his 7-leaf rabbit foot in terms of luck right now. Getting away with
in the meanwhile,
so much greed.
Slugtarn is actually, or was doing a 2TC boomer here right next to his Chinese opponent, and apparently Bad Boy is just going to punish that with a Scorpion Knight and Ram push over here. And Slugtarn is very far away from castle, so this is not going to be a guard tower or mangonel defense in this one anytime soon.
Yeah. And I think it begs the question of, why don't you have anything to defend yourself?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if ACCM sends the Mangudais to Slugtarn, that actually helps Oh My Gosh right now, or Naked Man. Because it appears that what Hart should do is send a light cap, try to snipe down the Scorpions, because that's what is the biggest problem to deal with right now, I believe, for Bad Boy.
Yeah.
On the right side.
And there aren't any, like, upgrades on the knights or towers
Look
or
at the
anything.
TC from Save My Name! This is the moment when he realizes who he is next to. He just TC'd that gold and wood. And he's like, hello, I'm your neighbor.
Oh, here it is! Oh, wow.
And it appears that this game is going to be somewhat similar to Bedouin's game. We'll probably see Slugtarn and Hera absolutely sacrificed for the boom for Leary.
No!
Leary is doing a 4TC boom. Nice move though from Hart over there, to be honest. Lightcap will destroy the monks, pick off the scorpions. Slugtarn actually has an acceptable villager count right now, and since those knights from Bad Boy have no extra pierce armor, they die very easily to tower fire, so credits to Hart again for defending his teammate extremely well.
That is a bailout at the last second if I've ever seen it. It was looking to be a complete disaster for Slugtarn, but the Light Cav came in just the right moment. But now we have some plumes on the way. They already have Bodkin, and Hera is still in Feudal Age. That's not great.
Yeah, Hera I think will be going up to Castle Age very soon, and remember that All is actually helping out Leary here, booming on 4 TCs. And what is Hart doing though? Like, he has a few Light Cav, which is an upgrade he gets for free, by the way, so going for Scouts actually made a lot of sense for him over there because of that. But other than that, I don't see Knights. I don't see anything from Hart. 2 TC boom, and apparently Hart went for an outpost, so he can drop a Sword TC. Oh, he has a Sword TC. So it's 3 TCs, but still has 95 stone.
Probably just bought it.
Yeah, potentially. Anyways, I think that Hart is doing an excellent job protecting Slugtarn here, and honestly, Slugtarn is in an acceptable position, despite the early pressure he faced.
Yeah, definitely. Mangonel's even coming in for Leary, so he's starting to actually do something. And that TC's pretty awkward. And look at this, a ton of knights coming in now. As in, like, 4, plus a camel, but that's enough! And that's gonna destroy the Mangonel, and just gonna give Leary free reign in taking down this TC from Say My Name.
Yeah, exactly, and if you can finish off Say My Name, suddenly you're in an extremely good position. Now the Mangonels will go down to the Mangadai here pretty easily, so you will still need something to deal with those Mangadai, but correct me if I'm wrong, Huskars should be able to decimate Mangadai as well, right?
Oh yeah, they're totally fine against Mangadai.
Hero going up the castle here, still getting his gold mine raided, and yeah, he's still in a pretty rough spot, I would say, kind of just sacrificed here as a meat shield.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's pretty impressive that he's been able to just survive. But I mean, at least Hera in Castle Age gonna be able to do something. I'm not too sure what he wants to do though. Just gonna have some archers.
Yeah, probably good crossbows. Honestly, I feel like at this moment, it's Oh My Goss having 4 players that are all in an okay spot. And then you have AM with 2 players having an insanely good spot, Leary and Hart with their booms and their eco. And 2 players who are kind of just left to die.
Yeah, kinda.
We'll see which method works better, but credits to Slugtarn for holding his own. And Slugtarn is also going to go up to Castle. And when that happens, suddenly he's going to be probably able to one-on-one against Bad Boy.
He doesn't want to lose villagers though. And he's gonna really want access to stone, which he doesn't have right now because his opponent is pressuring him quite well. And what he really wants to get into Kipchaks, but right now he's just gonna have a
castle drop! Rolls-Royce castle dropping Hera, and simultaneously you're going to see Say My Name castle dropping Leary. This one isn't as much impactful, and Leary is going into Imperial, so I don't think that's going to be a thing. But I think it's going to be in Leary's hands to carry this game, because Hera might just die here. I think he needs to evacuate and, I don't know, fall back behind Hart over here.
Ooh, Mangodai getting trapped in by Hart!
Oh, that's beautiful. I gotta say that so far, in the last 2 games, Hart is probably the most outstanding player for AM.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
He has been doing an extremely good job on the water in the previous games. Now he's actually holding quite nicely. But Leary, this is his job to snowball this one. Barracks are coming up. And remember that it might look very, very good right now for Say My Name at ACCM. But once those Huskars start running, suddenly Say My Name could just die.
Yeah.
So I think all they need to do is just hold out for a few more minutes. And then the Huskars could actually turn a lot of things around here.
You know what the answer to the Huskarls is going to be? It's going to be Karambits from Rolls-Royce.
Yeah, but Rolls-Royce is pretty far away from spamming massive amounts of Karambits, and I mean, sure, those are nice, but you don't really have a lot of upgrades, and those are Castle Age Karambits against Leary's Imp.
Oh, beautiful attack round from Leary with the Mangonels, killing a ton of plumed archers. Those are like all the plumes!
That was beautiful. Absolutely magnificent. And meanwhile, Hera is cleaning up all the Mangodai with his crossbows. Hera is also doing a great job despite the fact that he's getting castle dropped quite massively. He's got quite a lot of crossbows, and again, it's just the contributions that he can make. If he can contribute by cleaning up a few plumes and Mangodai, that's fine. Because this game is all about buying some time for Leary. And also, I really want to credit Slugtarn here, who's again doing a decent job defending in this one. And he actually is a legitimately decent eco, I would say. It's comparable to Bad Boys, even though Bad Boys seems to be a tiny bit ahead right now. Trebuchet first from Leary, but we already have Perfusion, I believe. Or is it just Anarchy?
I think it was just Anarchy that came in.
Yep. But Squires is still missing for those Huskars, which would be nice. But this is the moment when Say My Name is in actually massive trouble, because there's not a lot of Crumbits, and we might see a Doubt Castle from Rolls-Royce over here.
Oh.
Indeed, that's not going up.
No, it's not.
That ain't going up. And there is Perfusion from Leary. This is the moment when Say My Name is going to potentially die, and this game is going to get more even than ever.
Yep. This is going to be really, really hard for Say My Name to deal. Really, it's going to be hard for everyone to deal with. Like I said, Goss pretty much countered the entire team of Oh My Goss. And if the Naked Men are looking to make this reverse sweep happen, This is, I think, they're in as good a position as they could hope for to get game number 1 under their belt.
Yeah, I think what I would love to see from Hera is a few Villagers to the right side and just try to kind of reboom as well. Meanwhile, again, another kind of nice fight over here, I would say, for Heart against those Mangadai. Narrow choke point, but the Mangadai are taking quite a lot of beating from Camels and Knights. This is absolutely acceptable, I would say, for Heart.
Where was that fight?
ACCM is losing quite a lot of Mangadais, and if you can trade off Camels to Mangadais in this position, I would say you're perfectly fine. Imp is coming in for ACCM though, so Mongols are getting more and more dangerous.
Oh, here they are. I couldn't find the units. Oh, TC denied pretty feels bad, man. But yeah, just keeping the Mangadai numbers low is pretty much all you can hope for at this point. And eventually, just Goss should overwhelm pretty much everything. And if you look at poor Say My Name, it's a classic situation, Mayans versus Goths. We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. One of the reasons why Goths actually can be a legit Arabia Civ is because people are picking Mayans so frequently that Goths actually can be a legit answer. I think those guys are missing Squires though, aren't they?
I think they have them now. I think
But
so.
anyways, on the left side we still have a lot of room for oh my gosh, to expand, and Slugthorn is kind of holding it on. But remember that in the meanwhile, there is double the Voyager count now for Bad Boy. So Bad Boy is able to boom behind this one and apply decent pressure. He's apparently going to castle drop Slugthorn here.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what Slugthorn's been up to be honest. He just seems just sitting back on 2 TCs. But yeah.
He's going to have a third one on this right side now.
Oh, well, way on the right side, but yeah. That isn't quite as ideal, but an Elite Mangadai is now going to be coming in, and we're going to be seeing Elite Mangadai versus Elite Huskarls very shortly. And
yeah, but in the meanwhile, there is raiding coming in here from Leary, and if Leary could send just 10 Huskars to Bad Boy's side, suddenly Slugthorn would be in an okay spot, because then Bad Boy is just going to lose massive amounts of villagers. You have Say My Name dropping at 93, and they will just add multiple layers of stone walls in a hope to kind of survive in this one. But I'm pretty sure Say My Name is going to fall behind quite massively. And we also have Imp coming in here for Heart, so we will soon see a lot of Cav Archers moving in. And I think the major concern right now for oh my gosh is that the only player who's realistically contributing with a lot of military is ACCM. I mean, Rolls-Royce is doing something here, Castle Age Karambits and Castle Drops, but it's not going to stop the flood of Huskars.
yeah,
The Archers in this one. And other than that, Bad Boy isn't really having a lot of military over here, so once he finishes off Slugthorn, there is not much to do there. And in the meanwhile, you will have Leary flooding the map with Huskars, and Heart is also going to have quite a lot of Cav Archers over here, fully upgraded light Cavs as well for raiding.
if you're looking for civs that you need to have essentially carry 1v3 in a pinch, Mongols and Goths are going to be two great options in doing that. And ACCM, I mean, he's trying, man. He's going to have, like, what, castle number 6 or something forward here. And, of course, the strength of Mangadai is that they can shoot and run away. And because they have that 8 base attack, they will be able to deal 2 damage per hit as opposed to 1 against the Huskarls. Not that that's still amazing.
Meanwhile, we have Bad Boy trying to trap his opponent. This is indeed trying to lure your opponent in before he escapes. All the Chukanus are going to slaughter the villagers. Slugthorn is going to die here. Luckily, he already has quite a lot of villagers on the right side, so I think Slugthorn can reboot relatively fast here.
No way in, no way out.
And meanwhile, ACCM is going to have a Doubt Castle here, I believe. Hera is going to tower that, and indeed that's going to be a Doubt Castle. And meanwhile, on the left side, if you look there, Say My Name is down to 80 villagers, and his southern base wasn't found over here by Leary at this very moment, but yeah, now he finds it, and Say My Name is going to lose like 20 more villas over there, and now the flood of Huskars will start pushing Rolls-Royce, and the problem is that it's just going to be one player from the Vietnamese team. It's going to be a very scary push of Mangadai, but do you think this will be the moment for Hera to start trying to get into skirmish? Aztec skirmish will be amazing, and all you need to do is just decrease those Mangonai numbers as much as possible.
I think, honestly, it's going to be more important for Hart. He's got Spahi, he's got +4 defense on the way. Mangudai are good, but they're not going to be able to, like, chew through Turk Cav Archers. Like, they'll probably trade slightly favorably, but it's a near thing, right? And with the Huskarls there, too, it can be really tricky.
Look at Slugtown on the north! What is that? Do you think he might be a bit angry, or what is this? Or is this... This is not actually... This is just a trade denial. I got confused by the amount of...
Oh, yeah.
But
Human Palisades, too.
Trade denial.
Yeah, this is 100% trade denial. It's not trolling. I mean, it might be a little trolling, but it's still very much being effective.
And yeah, with this much mineable gold on the map, it doesn't really matter that much, I would say. But this is the moment when Rolls-Royce will start dropping in villager count as well as the Huskars arrive to this base. There's a lot of stone walls, but I mean, it's Goss. And they will just kill the TC, 10 villagers inside. On the right side, ACCM is pushing quite relentlessly though. Sipahi Cav Archers are in for hard, but doesn't really have the numbers right now. And Bad Boy starts to add a lot of Cavaliers, which could turn the battle around, honestly.
44... Not too bad for Hart's military numbers. And it's like, when you think of stuff that can kill Mangudai, you have Cav Archer and Huskarl. Like, that's about as good as you can ever get. Oh, and Unleash the Rams here from Hart. Got a ton of Rams coming out right now, and this is going to be a big play. I don't like how Leary's really being wasteful with these Huskarls, though. I'm dropping frames right now. Thanks, Comcast. Everybody thank Comcast.
Alright, that's a lot of siege rams on the right side, though, and remember that if castles fall, there is no way to reproduce those Mangudai, and I think rams still tank a lot of Mangudai arrow fire, right?
Yes, they do. I mean, it's not, like, amazing, but they still tank it.
So on the south, we have a cleanup, and remember, I want to give credit to Hera. He just boomed back up to 100 villagers. He's doing a 60C boom. Soon, Hera is going to have an actually legitimate army in this one.
Yeah.
My in-game overlay has frozen, by the way, so I will not be able to
Oh,
track
feels bad, man, everything. At least my internet stabilized.
And all the Mangudais are going down here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
And this is actually very, very bad for a Vietnamese team. Losing ground, losing those precious Mangudai and replenishing them is much harder. There's a few Cavaliers coming in, but Hart could add heavy camos to deal with that, or we could see Leary adding Hub.
And it's not like Cavalier are gonna be that great. I mean, it's not like they're Paladins, right? Like, if they're Paladins, then this is a different story, but obviously they're not. Real Siege Ram's gonna be coming in, though, and they're gonna be amazing at tanking the Cav Archer fire.
Yeah, but there is Siege Rams as well for Hart, so it's not like that's going to decide the outcome of the fight. And as I said, I feel like Hera will soon be a factor. Right-hand side, we'll have some Chukanus raiding for Bad Boy. We'll see how much damage they do over there. And honestly, Rolls-Royce is doing an excellent job on the left side, just being annoying and delaying Leary's push. Leary is focusing on the right side now. They just can't push through there. There's so many castles.
Yeah.
And what is missing, Graham, there is just a bunch of traps. But remember that at some point Hera is going to be starting to push here as well, whereas Rolls-Royce is just barely holding this one.
Yeah, and
so I think
the thing is, Bad Boy's not working towards really an amazing army composition, and indeed, there really isn't anything great in terms of cavalry. There's no good meat option for oh my gosh, which is kind of a problem.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, ACCM is getting pushed back. If they lose the Mangudai army, I'm pretty sure that this game is over. And you can see Bad Boy is trying everything he can with the Chukunu raids, with the stables right next to Hera's bases. And since we're an imp, you're also allowed to sling, so what could also be done is Hera just slinging their teammates into more military, but I feel like Hera should also contribute, because one of the biggest bottlenecks is population right now, as we have literally adding champs here, or at least they will be champs at one day.
They'll grow up to become champs.
How do champions do against Karambits?
Yeah. 2 Karambits beat 1 champion.
That's not great, but honestly, what's not great for Oh My Goss is that they are losing the entire Mangudai horde, and without Mangudais, they are just going to Mangudai.
Huh. And
But
all the castles
look
just
at
going
the
down so
Karambit
quick.
horde.
That's a lot of elite Karambits from Rolls-Royce.
Yeah. One thing that could work though is hand cannons. What if Horde goes hand cannons and then we are seeing Hera with Arbalest or potentially a Tuttle Skirm against this one? Because Hera starts adding up skirms right now, which could actually be pretty important. I have no idea about the Voyager counts because I'm just unable to keep track of it.
Everyone's north of
And-
110, so...
You know what? I was looking at the corner here, and the Voyager is cleaned up. That's actually pretty bad, because I think what Slugturn could have done is just slowly stream Knights into the back of the Vietnamese player's eco, because one of the biggest concerns right now is that Naked Men are just unable to touch the economy of Oh My Goss over here.
I mean, they're working towards it with this big push, but they're not there yet, and they have to go through all these castles.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, they are getting raided by a bunch of Karambit warriors and stuff. And, yep.
Oh, big Karambit flank here, right onto the Trebuchets, trying to go for the big snipes. They're trying to save that castle of ACCMs. Is it gonna be enough, though?
I'm not so sure.
Oh, the Mangudai are diving in. They want to take this fight.
Yeah, but they will lose a lot of Mangudai numbers, so replenishing the traps is always easier than replenishing those Mangudais right now in this situation. And in the meanwhile, we have Hussars coming in here from Hard. Naked Man just doesn't want to really give up on this one. It's a very, very messy game right now. Both teams setting up the trade. I still believe that Naked Men are so much more exposed. There's Karambits, Plumed Archers coming from Semifinal on the left side. And I just don't know. They are unable to hit the eco from Oh My Goss, and if that doesn't change, they will just die to raids here.
The one thing is, can they keep this push in the middle going? Because if they can keep the push in the middle going, eventually they will just win by getting right to the trade. And they're not even that far away from it, but killing those Trebuchets definitely bought a fair amount of time. But now Huskarl's incoming here from Leary once again.
And the Apocalypse Skirms will dive in.
Yeah, and this is looking
Look at
really rough.
Look at the amount of castles over there, though. The other thing, I feel like what Leary needs to achieve is somehow make sure that the Rolls-Royce is out of this game, because those Karambits are actually being very, very annoying. And Rolls-Royce actually is performing extremely well in this entire series, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
He's now up to Imperial, and Imperial Karambits actually work very, very nicely in here. And look at the amount of units that are just streaming in from the left side. Karambits, Plumes, all the cheaper Eno units in the world.
Indeed, indeed. Cav Archers, I mean, they're going to be doing all right, but they are going to potentially be getting overrun right now. I mean, the army of Hera's just skirmishers, and they're actually still missing chemistry too, and that's not great for Naked Men. Is Slugturn just
They
slinging?
need onagers, I believe.
Oh wait, no, Slugturn can't be slinging. He's still in Castle Age. Why? What's he doing? He's had plenty of time to reboom. He's on 140 villagers, but has 0 military.
He is just adding stables in the corner.
I mean,
But,
Heart's pop
yeah.
dropped like a rock. Leary's pop is not looking incredible.
Yeah, no one's pop is looking great, although I don't have exact figures. But as I said, the Stonewalls are lifesaver here for the Vietnamese team. There's just no way that the Naked Men can even touch the eco, whereas you see a constant stream of Karambits and Plumed Archers into the eco of Naked Men right now. But I think if we see Slugturn join the fight finally, that could be a completely different story. Because right now it's 3 versus 4, and let's not forget that.
Yeah, exactly. And the score difference looks massive right now. But again, that is contingent on Slugturn really not contributing anything. And he should be contributing right now. He is on the way to Imperial Age. He's getting coinage, but he is also getting +2 defense. I really think what they need is army more than anything else, not necessarily resources.
Yeah, they need more, like, mass amounts of Cavaliers, because Cavaliers would actually shred the Karambits, if I'm not mistaken. But look at Say My Name arriving with what could be Eldorado Eagles. If the overlay was working, I could tell more.
Eagles do have Eldorado. +2/+2 on the upgrades with +4 defense on the way. And it's tricky, right? If the skirmishers are only attacking Eagle Warriors, they're like doing effectively nothing and they're useless. But if they're getting into the Plumes and Mangadai, then they're going to be amazing. But SO now in here for ACCM, and the huge hits are coming in. Oh my Goss!
Oh my goodness! Don't tell me! Don't tell me!
Oh no! ACCM is like a tiger on the hunt.
He's just diving in. He wants.
He
to
doesn't care. He just wants the kills. Oh, and that's just it. They just give up.
Oh my goodness! Or should I say, oh my gosh?
Indeed. Oh boy.
When I went into this series, I was like, okay, like, this could be interesting, and I'm pretty sure AM is going to win, but holy moly, that was one hell of a series, and definitely unexpected. It's not just the fact that Vietnam has won this, it's the fact that they have done it in so dominant fashion. And I mean, there's a lot of like random variables, kind of. So yeah, like civilizations, but I feel like I don't think any of these games were actually decided by civilizations, believe it or not. Like this final game was decided by the fact that the Gothic flood was stopped by stone walls, whereas AM's entire eco was absolutely open.
Yep.
And I feel like for the majority of the games, it seems like AM's strategy was to have one player have a crazy, insane boom, and then snowball that one. But it feels like the teammates just died all the time, or like died enough to not have any support to that player. So if you cannot actually snowball it one right in that very moment, it is just going to be over. And meanwhile, for Vietnam, everybody contributed kind of evenly.
Mm-hmm.
And this meant that they were able to apply constant pressure, and they never really lost a lot of units. And they could just stall out attacks until reinforcements came in. Whereas for AM, it was more like, okay, 2 players die for the other 2 to boom.
That works if you have slinging allowed, but obviously we don't have slinging allowed until Imperial Age. And just the fact that it happens so much later just means that the team that's in the more solid position overall will just eventually, you know, outmuscle you, and that's exactly what we saw. Able to maintain the push in the middle, or at least die slowly in the middle, while still raiding on the sides so super heavily.
Oh man. And this might be the moment to talk about the scouting. That, like, of course in Nomad it's very, very hard to just look at the scouting. But holy moly, do you think that AM would have changed strategy if they know that Say My Name is in there?
Oh yeah, like Say My Name was like 100% exposed. Literally all of his resources except wood were exposed.
Because we discussed the fact that, you know, the worst thing that could have happened to Leary's boom into Huskard's is that Say My Name is going to slow him down. And that's what happened. There was a TC there. Leary had to make a few Mangonels that kind of slowed down the in progress. The other thing, do you think it would have been better for Leary not to boom up into Imperial and then start spamming Huskars, but instead start adding Huskars quite early on in Castle Age, maybe even FC Huskar, or kind of go FC free TC, but then start adding Huskars pretty early on.
Yeah.
And then try to pressure the opponents, because by the time he got to good Huskar numbers, Hera and Slugtarn were dead. If he has like 10-15 Huskars in mid-Castle Age, he could have easily defended Slugtarn against Bad Boy, or he could have actually just decimated Rolls Royce and prevented the castle drop in Hera's face, or potentially prevented, say my name, from killing all the villagers from Hera.
I think like when somebody was defeated or quote unquote defeated, knocked down on Oh My Goss, they were never knocked down so far that they could never come back. Whereas that did seem to be the case with our Naked Men. Yeah, like it's just somebody would be so far behind that they were just never able to really do anything. But yeah, wow. That was like the games were great. Like that was a 4-0, but those were some great games. ACCM 686 kills to 219 deaths. Classic.
Yeah, I honestly feel bad for Naked Man because I feel like every game they were very close to just turning it around. Like game number one, yeah, that was probably more like unlucky that they lost war, and so. But game number two, Bedouins, Leary almost carried that one with the Teuton Paladins. If there isn't a lot of quick gates from Bad Boy, that might have been a game for AM or Naked Man. Then you have game number three. Again, great civilizations, I would say, for Naked Man in game number three on Cross. They actually won the war on their respective pawns. But they were so confined into a tight spot that they just got castle dropped to hell.